Hi, and welcome to Sci-Fi-Vision Presents Fandom Access for August 18th. Thank you if you are joining us. Please make sure that you like the video, subscribe to Sci-Fi-Vision, hype it if you can, and make sure you check out scifivision.com and our video tab for all our interviews. We have a lot of things still going up, like Monarch and Murderbot and Dead City. So a lot of stuff coming. So make sure you check that out. But tonight we have Dead City and the Ark and Lanterns and Star Trek Strange New World we're going to talk about. We're going to start with Dead City, and this is
Hello, Neo.
episode 4, right? Lost. Yeah. Hi.
Yes, episode 4.
Yes. All right. Well, what did you think of it, Karen? This not a whole, I don't know, not a whole lot happened in this episode, I feel like.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of talking and then this really dramatic, like crazy scene at the end, right?
Yeah.
Which, is maybe believable. I don't know. They suddenly gave Maggie this big, like, I don't know. On the one hand, like, is it time for, like, Glenn's dead 15 years, 16 years, right?
Like that, yeah.
I mean, the first show came on, I don't know what season he died in, but he's dead, like,
a long time.
He's dead a long time. He's dead all of Herschel's entire life. And so is it time that they maybe gave Maggie, like, an arc where she was attracted to someone? Yeah, it's okay. I'm okay with that. I don't think Maggie has to be, like, eternally, like, but it was a lot of, like, I mean, it was a lot. It was, like, very character focused with the two of them, right? I don't know. I literally just finished watching it 5 minutes ago, so I haven't really had time to digest it. I did keep thinking the entire time that Gerald and all his people would be dead before it was over, because I was like, oh, here's a nice community of nice new people that seem really good. And here comes Maggie. So everything's going to get...
I know. That's exactly what I thought, too, because we always say that. They come along and they ruin everything.
Yeah. I was like, oh, how long till they're dead? But they seem to have made it, right?
Yeah, probably the guy was like, no, we don't want your help. Was probably
yeah. And I mean, it wasn't entirely Maggie. Like, Negan, they're really doing a better job with Negan. This, the new showrunners, and I don't know if they're new writers, but what they're doing with Negan, I kind of like this part with Negan and Renata. What, like, their conversations. We can talk as we move into it, like, about Negan's reaction to Renata, and, like, do you think he is right? Do you think he's justified? Like, which one of them is playing the other?
Yeah, well, I think they're both playing each other.
How'd you like it?
I liked it. Like I said, not a whole lot happened per se in this episode, but I did like it. And I said, I've been saying as the season goes on, I like this new direction. I like sort of this more this storyline that's more about survival and not just about, like, battling somebody the whole time, the whole season at least. And I'm enjoying it so far, and I like where it's going. I like the idea of, that they're trying to cultivate this bigger community, because we've seen communities in The Walking Dead, most that don't work, some that do. And I think that if they could make it work, like, I could see that being a big part of it, them continuing to try to grow this community. So yeah, I liked it. I didn't mind the stuff with her and Luis. Like, I thought it was cute. I was a little annoyed that they went through, like, having her kiss him and then, like, she just imagined it and then flipped out. They should have just either committed or not. But
well, I think the audience. All right, we'll hold that until we get there. I can hold my thought, but so I cannot interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. All right. Well, there is kind of intermixed with the beginning of the episode is them driving in the car, because they're kind of going back to tell what happened. This guy that Luis is, I don't know, fixing his sprain. I think he sprained his ankle. He brings in this really expensive, or at least used to be expensive in our world, bottle of whiskey. I don't know, some alcohol. I don't remember for sure, but some alcohol.
For those of you out there, it's Johnny Walker Blue, which is like an expensive, the most expensive of the Johnny Walkers. And Like it's pretty high end, and like they don't even like the bars I go to don't even have it.
Okay. Well, he's got this expensive. Yeah, he's got this expensive alcohol, and he tells him because he got it from the trader. So apparently, there's this, which you find out later, this woman who is able to get anything, and she trades with people for the stuff that they need, and that's kind of what she's doing in the apocalypse. You know, the way they were talking about the old show in this episode, and they were also talking about his past. I thought one of two things were going to happen. Either they're going to run into Marisol, which still could happen, or like the trader was going to be somebody we know. Did you feel like that? Maybe that was just me, but the way they were doing it, and like she was talking about what's his face, the mullet guy. I can't think of his name now. I'm blanking.
Eugene. Yeah,
Eugene. I mean, look, I knew that they weren't going to the Commonwealth, so I didn't necessarily expect them to find him. But just because they kept talking about the past, it made me think that like we were going to know the traitor. I don't know. It just made me feel like that. But then I did think like during a lot of this, a lot of it is Luis kind of talking to Maggie about his past and how his wife, Marisol, had taken off to go find her parents, and he never found her again. He's assuming she's dead. And especially because they were sort of starting this, or it seems like they're starting this romance. I mean, nothing actually happened in the episode, but other than she imagined kissing him. I thought that like at some point they were going to run into him. I thought maybe when they got to that other community that she was going to be, you know, dancing around there, but I was wrong with that. But yeah, a lot of this is backstory and them kind of getting closer, I guess. I don't know. What did you think?
I mean, I thought they definitely have left it open that Marisol could be alive and she could come back. Like I started thinking, oh, is Maggie going to get close to this guy and then his wife's going to show up? Because at the end of the world, you always run into the same 5 people you know, right? Right. And I thought, I mean, they definitely left it open that she took off to find her parents and she never came back. So he assumes she's dead. There's no proof she's dead, right? So I thought that, you know, on a different level, it's interesting that like Luis is talking about Marisol, his wife, and you know her disappearance, and I mean she's talking about Eugene, like this goofball guy that was in their community. Like she's not really sharing. She doesn't tell him about Glenn. She doesn't tell him how she right. Like he's sharing like his kind of deepest feelings about his lost love, and she's talking about Eugene, who she never had. I mean, Eugene was in love with. I want to call her Rosario, right?
I know. Yeah, Rosie. Wasn't that Rosie? I think it was no. Rosita. Yeah.
Rosita. He was in love with Rosita. I mean, she's talking about a person, yes, that she cared about, was part of her community, but Maggie is not sharing with Luis on the same level. She's just way right. Like
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, maybe I guess Maggie's not ready to open up. I mean, Maggie's always been closed off, so I guess I'm not surprised she's not. But because he was, you'd think maybe she would a little bit. But I do like that they have Maggie a little more, I guess, lighthearted in this episode. Like she's finally able to laugh and to let loose a little bit. And as much as it was silly, I did kind of like their conversation. You have the picture here of putting his arms out. He's like, if we make the car an airplane, and then she's like, you roll the windows down, it takes more gas or something in there. I don't end up.
I know. I mean, I did that when I was a little kid, didn't you?
Yes, but they're not little kids. But it was funny. I still appreciated this scene, and I thought that.
To be fair, I see grown-ups doing that all the time, like on the highway, on the road, sticking their arm out the window.
Yeah, maybe one, but you usually don't both do.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was kind of shocking that Maggie hasn't done it before, and was like, "What are you doing?" But it was kind of cute. It was a little, I don't know. Go ahead. Let's keep clicking.
Yeah. And B had said, yes, Maggie can have a new love. It's time. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. Glenn's been dead for a long time. As long as it's not Negan, I'm fine with it. Right.
I mean, Glenn's been dead for like ever. He died in what season does he die in? Like season 3, right? 4?
I mean, look, I loved Glenn, but I mean, it's okay.
Maybe 5, but he died a really long time ago.
Yeah, it's not quite a bit. Even in our time, it's been quite a bit.
I mean, Maggie, in this conversation, like Maggie, she does say like, it's nice to be able to like, now it's not just about like protecting Herschel. It's not just about survival. It's about building something. And, there's this whole running theme in the episode where Louise says, who do you want to be? And by the, like, I don't think Maggie knows who she wants to be, right? She's been so angry ever since Glenn died. She's just angry, right?
Yeah. Let's see. B says it was season 7 he died. I guess he died further into the show then, but still, it's still been a long time though. I mean, it's still been years.
Well, and it was season 7, but it was not maybe that many years into the apocalypse, right? Because those seasons covered like shorter periods. There hadn't been time jumps back then.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's plenty of time. But like you said, yeah, Glenn wasn't even born. So it's clearly his.
Herschel wasn't even born. Yeah.
Or what did I say? Did I say Glenn? Herschel. I meant Herschel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of it, you're right. It's about who you want to be. And I feel like Maggie, at least at this point, maybe isn't ready to be a leader, or she feels she's not ready to be a leader. Not that she needs to be right now, because Renata's there, but
she has been a leader. She led Hilltop.
She isn't. She feels she's not a good leader, which I don't quite understand, I guess, why, because you're right. She was leading people before, and now she seems to not want that role.
Well, Hilltop failed. The Bricks was failing, right?
True. It's only been 2 years or something. Judith was still. Oh, when Glenn died. I thought you meant, okay. Yeah. I thought you meant since Glenn died now. And I'm like, wait, yeah. What?
So like the entire, like, it's very early, it's in like episode 1 that Lori is like having sex with Shane, right? So Judith is born and she's still a baby when Glenn died. So those first 6 seasons cover only like a couple years.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So there's a little bit of back and forth between them, talking about food. Not that was really important, but there's different scenes with them, and then they're getting ready to leave to go find this trader because and I know now why I had this picture here was to remind me. Renata talked to Maggie into letting, like, Maggie didn't think that Louise should go, but she's like, look, they want to trade medicine. We want to get medicine. We have to make sure it's real medicine. So Louise has to go. Wasn't it? It was, I think.
Well, I think Renata argued both sides. Renata was like, wait, now you want to take our only doctor up there? And then Renata's like, was it Maggie who said, or Maggie and Renata agreed that he has to go because he's only going to identify if it's real morphine, which I don't really know how in the end, he doesn't really do that. In the end, the trader's like,
can you tell by tasting morphine?
The trader's basically like, trust me, it's real. And he gives it like a little taste or something, right?
Yeah.
Which, I guess whatever. He's not going to like inject Maggie to see if she like gets sedated, right? Like
right. Yeah, you can't really test it. But no, I mean, yes, they do have a conversation at some point that's about, does he go? He is training new people. They make a point of saying he's training more medical people. But they need to make sure the equipment and the medicine they get's real. So that's why they want him to go to the trader. And why
he might be a goner. I'm saying it now. He might die. To me, there's a lot of signs that Louise might not be long for the show, but we can talk about that as we go along and later.
Yeah, maybe even just the fact that Maggie's starting to like him.
Yes, right? Yes.
That makes him a goner, right? But either way, they're going to go across to go see her. And they kind of have this conversation about, he says that, he never thought he'd get back across to the other part of the island or whatever again. And so they're happy to get to travel, and that's why they're kind of enjoying themselves on this car trip.
Well, Louise hasn't left New York City since
the whole thing with the Croat, right?
No, since all the bridges are gone. You can only get off on a boat. Like, he's never.
Oh, that's right. He said the bridge. You're right.
Yeah. And look, I don't know if he left before. Like, plenty of people who live in New York City aren't in the habit of like going over to Jersey, right?
Yeah, but
he hasn't left. All the bridges were bombed, and you could only go across on a boat. And then, later the Dom on the Croat had everything locked down, right?
Well, look, I mean, at the beginning of the show, it seemed like everybody that was in New York was stranded in New York, and they had stopped them from leaving. So they were stuck there. I'm trying to see what the okay. I was wondering, I'm like, why do they have these?
The subway.
They're rounding up the walkers. You know, what do you think about this? I feel like this is not a good plan. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter in the scheme of things. It's the way they're doing it. But I just keep thinking that like this still feels like a way for them to screw up and get bit if they knock the buckets off. And also like if they're dumping the walkers into vats of acid, they because it is acid, right? Or no, it isn't acid. That's right, because that one guy falls in it.
Whatever it is, I agree with you, Jamie, 100%. Those, it's about the decomposing walkers create methane gas to power the city. Why do they have to be alive? Why? I mean, they can throw dead walkers in there. So why are they? And it's New York City. Like, there's no shortage of. Why do they have to cage them and stockpile them alive? Right? It doesn't. I agree with you. This maybe exists only so they can screw up.
Yeah. Thank you, whoever just subscribed. I don't know. I mean, I think she said something. Didn't they say something like we need them for the reserves or something? I mean, I do get that it's easier to walk walkers there than to carry walkers there. So I kind of get bringing them alive. But yeah, once they get there, like, why are they keeping them alive in the cages? Why not just stab them? They already stink, right? I mean, they're already decomposing bodies. They're not going to stink more.
I feel like it's New York City. How hard is it to go out on the sidewalk and catch a walker, right? Like,
well, I think they need a lot of them for the power. I think they're supposed to be using.
Okay, but there are about 11 million people, I think, 10, 11 million people living in New York City, right? Like, there should be walkers, even at this late date, there should be walkers galore. And there seems to be no shortage. It's not like they're like, oh, we can't find any walkers today. Turn down the lights. Like, there's unlimited walkers. I just don't know why they have to round them up and pen them up alive. Yeah, it's easier when you need to throw a walker into the thing to have some there. But I agree with you, Jamie, that this seems unnecessarily complicated and dangerous.
And also that's how before that guy fell in the tank. Like, if they were already dead, they could just lift him up and throw him in the damn tanks. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was funny though too, because I'm thinking like, how many buckets do they have? Like, they got to keep taking the buckets off and not getting
again, it's New York City. You probably have a lot of stuff.
That's true. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird the way they did it, but they are bringing the walkers there, and that is how this guy also almost gets bit.
His name is Fabian.
Okay. Now, what is it? I didn't know what the hell this weird mutated looking walker, if he was supposed to be something special or just supposed to be some big guy. It was weird looking. Do you agree with that?
It looks a little bit like walkers we've seen that have been submerged in water. Remember in season the
bloated guy? Yeah,
kind of on the farm where they had that walker that had been in the well for a long time. Maybe it's something like that. I mean, we should probably talk about Fabian, because prior to this scene, Fabian was talking a lot of shit with Negan, right? And Fabian, to me, I was like, oh, this guy's an agitator. This is gonna like, he immediately is like, we can't, like, okay, we've never seen this guy before. I don't know when he showed up, but I'm pretty sure I've never seen him before. And he's like, oh, we're letting too many people in. There's limited resources. I have a family. And if I have to catch walkers, I should get a bigger share than other people. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, Fabian, this is going to be trouble. Fabian's going to like upset the apple cart, right? Like, did you think? That's why I kind of knew he wouldn't die in this scene, because I was like, this guy needs to like be a challenge to Maggie's authority later in the season.
Yeah, because otherwise, why introduce him the way they did? I agree with you. But here Negan saved him, which is kind of the point of the scene.
Saved him from the glob walker or whatever.
Yeah, from the walker. So Negan's clearly is a team player at this point. At least in this scene, I wouldn't say at this point, because him and Renata are still button heads. But
I don't think Negan has ever been a guy. He's always said people are a resource. Like, he's never been a guy to let people get killed just because.
Yes, I agree. But I just mean, a lot of times Negan doesn't want to help, though. At this point, he is helping them. He's doing something. He's not just like being like, yeah, go do it yourself and playing video games like he was.
Okay. So you mean he's being a team player in terms of helping them round up the walkers and all that, not just like saving babies.
Helping them out. I didn't.
You're right.
Yeah, no, I just because I know, like I said, he's butting heads with them, but he's helping them out. He's doing a little bit of his share at least. Although he says that he doesn't want to stay in the town. He tells Renata after, because she's like, you get to have this apartment because I want you to stay here because you're, that she thinks he's a good asset, and Maggie trusts him, but she's like, I still don't trust you. And he doesn't want to stay there because she says he has to follow the rules. I'm sorry, what?
Well, I thought it was really interesting that after we had just seen Fabian say, I'm doing a lot of hard work, I should get more than other people. And like almost the next scene, Renata's like, you're working really hard. I'm going to reward you with this nicer apartment than where you live now. It's the last apartment in the building where all the leadership lives, right? She's like, it was really interesting that Fabian saying he wants more, and suddenly she offers Negan more. Like, it's just, it's a coincidence, but it's a parallel story, right?
It is. But I mean, this is kind of, I felt like a bribe. I mean, she wants him to be an asset to their society. Negan does not want it to be his place. He is not looking at it as his town. And he does not want to follow the rules. He thinks if I'm not a member of the society, I can do whatever the hell I want. And I think it's partially a bribe because she does say he's an asset. I think it's also a way she thinks she can control him. I think it's a bit of both. She wants his help, but she doesn't trust him.
I think you're maybe mischaracterizing Negan a little bit, or I'm just not maybe. He doesn't want to do whatever the hell he wants. He's not trying to take food. He's not trying to.
I don't mean that. I mean, he doesn't want to. Let me rephrase it. He doesn't want to follow her directives. He wants Maggie to be the leader, and the fact that Renata's leading, he's not happy about. And he a lot of times makes it like he's not willing to follow the rules. Look, he for the most part is following the rules. He's not stealing food. You're right. Now
I disagree with you a little. I think Negan doesn't want to be a part of the leadership structure.
That too.
And he doesn't want maybe responsibilities and a role, but I don't think he doesn't want to follow the rules or that he doesn't want to be a part of. I mean, yes, maybe he's a little antisocial and he's hanging out with a maniac. But like,
I don't think not follow the rules. He more doesn't, like I said, I don't think he wants to follow her leadership. He doesn't think she should be in charge.
I don't know. I mean, to me, she and Maggie are like co-leaders right now. But I mean, I think he doesn't want to be asked to take a leadership role and to be an example to other people and to be a part of decision making that no one ever listens to him anyway. No matter what he says, Maggie's like, we're not doing that. So, right. And Maggie doesn't want to hear the hard truths that he wants to give her. So I don't think, maybe we're just like not understanding each other's like words and language. Yeah. We kind of agree. I don't think he doesn't want to follow the rules or be a part of anything, but I don't think he wants to just be a citizen and not be like, he wants to be just another one of the 1,000 people that live there and not be like part of their deal.
He does make a point of saying like if he stays there he has to follow her, and I guess I'm saying not so much that he doesn't want to do the right thing, because that's what I said. He's not stealing food, you're right, he's not causing problems, but I feel like Negan just sometimes Negan wants to like be able to not have to be under somebody. I don't know. That's the opinion I get. Like he doesn't like that she tells him when she tells him what to do. Whether it's what he wants to do or not, I feel like is irrelevant. I feel like there's always going to be that tension because Negan doesn't want her to lead. That's how I feel.
I don't know. I think Negan doesn't know her, so why should he trust her? Maggie trusted her immediately, and I think Negan is a little more like. I mean, Maggie does what Maggie tells him to do. He says he won't do it, but then he always does it, right?
He always does. And that's why I'm saying I think it's more to cause tension. And that's why I'm saying I feel like part of the reason Renata did this, I don't know. I felt like part of it was a bribe, not all of it, because she definitely wants to do it because she can control him. She can watch him. He's there in the apartment. But I also feel like she's trying to get him to do the things they need. Like you're saying, he doesn't want to be someone who is taking on any leadership, any responsibilities. And I feel like she maybe wants him to because she trusts Maggie, but she also doesn't trust him. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of different things going on here.
I mean, I think 100% Renata doesn't trust him. And she thinks that we've seen the promo over and over where she says he's a rabid animal. Like she doesn't trust him. And she probably does want to keep him closer. I mean, I don't know about a bribe. She did pitch it as a reward. I think she underestimates Negan because he's a little crude and vulgar and like rough around the edges, she thinks he's stupid, and he's actually really smart. And like nobody has survived this long without being able to really read people and see your motives and stuff. I think Renata a little, she underestimates him, and she looks down on him in a way that, I mean, Maggie does also, but Maggie understands him better, right? Because Maggie knows him. And there's a little part of me that's like, okay, well, Maggie's known him for like 15, 16 years. And you met him, like you know him like from the Dama and the Crut, but you don't really know him. And Renata's, but yeah, for sure, I think she doesn't trust him. And by offering this apartment, she could keep him closer and watch him. But like, she says all the right things in this episode. I'm just not sure if I believe her or not.
Yeah. I mean, I do think she's bullshitting with a lot of it, but this is where they talk about the Dama here, don't they?
Well, she says like, I know you killed the Dama.
Okay, I want to make sure I had the right scene. Okay, yeah, she's like, basically, I know that you killed the Dama, but I'm not going to tell Maggie. There's no reason Maggie needs to find out. So, and that's why I was saying, like, it's also, is there a little bit of blackmail in there too? Like
well, and that's what Negan says later.
She can control him because she knows this, or she wants him to think that. I don't know. Because
Negan agrees with you. I'm not sure that I do. I'm not sure that I think Renata is as much of a master manipulator as Negan is, right?
No.
Maybe.
No. I think Negan thinks she's trying to, but
I mean, I really like, she's spouting the same Maggie bullshit of like, you took away the choice. Like, we gave Dama the choice. And I saw that she ate a bite of food, so why would she eat food and then kill herself? And which is ridiculous, because people who like decide to take their own lives in certain ways, they eat sometimes and then they like kill themselves an hour later, right? Like,
yeah, maybe she wanted a meal before she died. Who knows?
Mom was on a hunger strike, and then she this and then she that. It's evidence. It's circumstantial evidence. But this bit about like, you took away the choice, we gave the Dama the choice. You know that I've always felt like that was a cop-out on Maggie's part. Like, Maggie didn't want to make the hard decision, or any decision. Like, Maggie wouldn't decide to keep her alive or decide to keep her dead. Maggie's like, let's let the Dama decide, which is like, you know, and then Negan made the hard choice that Maggie couldn't. And Renata, Maggie says one thing, Renata says this is not, but ultimately I think Maggie needs Negan to do those things for her.
Yeah, she just won't admit it. But I feel like Renata is kind of like, I know you did it, I don't need to tell Maggie, and trying to make it like she's trying to be nice, where he's taking it as a threat. That's what I'm saying. I don't know that it is a threat. I think that he's taking it that way.
And I think Renata did it wrong. Renata should have, like, if I was going to say the Negan, I'd say, Negan, like, I know you killed the Dama. It's fine. She needed to die. I think Maggie was wrong. You did the right thing. Don't worry. I won't tell her. Like, to me, that would be a way to pitch this to Negan, right?
Right. And I don't know if it's trying to say that she's just not as good at this as she thinks she is, or I'm not sure, because you're right. That isn't the right way to get what she wants out of it. And I don't know, maybe it's just there because it's going to come up later, right? Like, it might just be, I mean, look, I don't think that they did the whole thing with him killing the Dama and like, it's never going to come up again. I mean, clearly at some point, Maggie's going to find out, whether she tells her or she finds out on her own, I don't know. But, yeah, this is not the way to handle Negan. And I think that it pisses off Negan also. Yeah, I think that a lot of times, and all I was kind of getting at is, I think a lot of times, like, Negan won't do something just because he wants to be defiant sometimes. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, he's an asshole. I mean, it often is, right? And can he be an asset to this community? Yes. Did what he did killing the Dama, was it in the end probably the right thing? Probably. I know I kind of felt differently than you did about it, but I do see why he did it, and like, I get it. But the way she went about it was not probably the best choice. Let's put it that way. But she doesn't tell Maggie is the whole idea of it. Maggie doesn't.
And that's really the end of that for this episode.
for now. Yeah. And that's why, sorry, I know we're getting behind. I'm trying to scoot along here. Okay. So they're on the way to see the trader. There's this whole thing where they're eating mulberries and they're kind of, this is where they're getting to know each other. He tells her about his wife. We talked about that earlier.
It was a little slow and silly. I mean, overall, they're trying to set up this like magical weekend for Maggie and Luis. It's so like fun and cute and romantic and blah, blah, right? Like it's all part of this like beautiful weekend road trip.
I guess I like I said, I liked seeing Maggie let loose a little bit and be more like smiling and laughing and having fun, more so than I cared one way or another about their maybe romance.
Yeah. Did I need 35 minutes of these two kind of like dancing around each other? Probably not, but
Yeah, I maybe would have liked to have seen more of this character, the trader, because I feel like at some point, hey Dieter, welcome. I feel like, I don't know, like she could be somebody that we could see later because she serves a purpose of getting them what they need, right? And at some point, they're probably going to need something else. So I could see her coming back.
There could be some amazing backstory of how this woman came to be like, the trader, and how she gets the stuff and her connections and everything. That could be really interesting. It's a dangerous side road, and I kind of like, while I want to know more, like we don't have time for that, right?
Yeah, true. But this woman kind of lives out there in the woods and she's got this cabin and all these things, like she's got, games and all kinds of stuff, things that normally people don't have because she's collecting everything. And they come in and they tell her, we want to trade for, and he gives like this long list of all these medical supplies they need. And she kind of looks like at him, like, you're asking for all that. And she's like, you guys better have something, really good. And this is where Maggie's like, here are plans. We can tell you how to make energy from walkers. Now, this is pitched as this is something people don't know how to do. So I kind of wondered where it was going because like she's giving her this and this is a big thing that can make her powerful if she uses it in the right way, right? Like I'm assuming what they're trying to do because this woman trades things. Like that's what she wants is something unique, something not other people have. And then Maggie immediately goes to that other guy and is like, hey, we'll give it to you for free. And I'm thinking, I don't know that she should have done that just because I was afraid like she was going to find out she's trading it with a whole bunch of other people and then come back and get pissed at them for that. But who knows?
Well, because the broker, she is a broker. The trader would like, Maggie's like, trade this to as many people as you want, but the trader would trade it. Actually, I was a little confused about how the trader like makes money, so to speak, because the trader trades them. She's like, here's all the drugs, give me the plans. But like, where's her commission? Like, shouldn't she get like a bunch of food or a bunch of whatever, like for herself to use and live on, right? Like we saw Gerald come by and bring her some spiced apples. Yeah, that's great. But like she needs supplies of her own to live. So did she just not take a commission off Maggie and Luis this time because it's such a valuable? I mean, what she said was you better have something as like powerful as the sun to trade for all that stuff. And guess what? They basically do have something as powerful as the sun.
I mean, I take it that she does it to trade for the things she wants. But yes, if she's trading people, then she's also giving up things. So I don't know.
Like
You're right.
She traded them for something she can trade, right?
Right. Like, but I mean, having electricity can be power, right? Whether it's power she holds or power she trades to somebody else later to get something better. I don't know. But my point is that Maggie is pitching this as this is something nobody has. And if they're giving it to everybody else for free, I just don't think that's.
But Maggie says to her, she's like, why would you give this to me? And she's like, what do you want? Like, this is all. In the end, the trader is kind of like, all you want is these drugs. And Maggie's like, look, we want everyone to have it. Like Maggie does say to the trader, we want everyone to have it. Like right?
Yeah, she doesn't say I'm not going to tell somebody else. It's just the way, I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, they didn't negotiate an exclusive deal, so to speak, right?
No, they didn't. And I just thought it was funny.
The trader does say, like, why would you give this to me? This could make you so powerful. And Maggie's like, I don't want to be powerful. This is bigger than that. I want to change the world. Maggie wants to change the world.
Yeah, which is probably a lofty ambition that will bite her in the butt later, right?
It's interesting that what Maggie's doing is trying to return to the old way. And a big part of season 1 of Dead City was Herschel being like, what was so great about the old way? Why are all you old people always talking about going back?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the part of the show that I actually like that they're introducing this season. Like, I like this kind of idea of the story being about survival and about creating a community, because it hasn't been about that for a while.
I mean, I think it's about much more than survival. It's always been about survival. Now it's about like more than just surviving. It's about thriving, I think.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. But like, instead of them just battling people all the time, like, I like that it's kind of more about them trying to grow a community right now, which it hasn't been for a while, I feel like. I mean, yeah, there's some of that all the time, granted. I don't mean that they never do that. I just mean they're more focused on how can we make a community more so than they have been in a while, I feel like.
I mean,
or I like it focused on.
I like it, Jamie, also. And I like it partly because like where Maggie has a bigger picture now about changing I like that. Could we be working towards the end of this franchise? Like, could we working towards the day when like they have a nice New York and everything is like pretty good, not back to normal, but good. And now we like don't have any more stories to tell.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only thing is then you're out of Walking Dead, so I don't know. But anyway, she's like, you stay here. I'm gonna go have somebody tell me that if this is legit or not. And at first they were a little like, I don't know, because she makes them give them their weapons when they came in, and she's like, you're going to stay here without weapons. And I guess they get freaked out a little bit. But I also see her point of view, like, if I was going to screw you over, I wouldn't leave you here with all my stuff that you could steal and take, and know. So yeah, it's just she's going to take their van to go check it out. But I do wonder, like, if she is being like fair and legit, like, why not give them a weapon back while they stay there, right? Like, she took their van, she still could have given their weapons back.
I mean, she says like, all the stuff you want won't fit in my car, so I need your van. I mean, maybe she knows that these people are resourceful enough to whittle a couple sticks into steaks in case right? Like, anybody who's been alive this long is capable of fashioning a weapon, right?
True.
And figuring shit out.
So then they sit and play Jenga, and this is what it's about. She has all kinds of stuff that's like not survival things, like the Jenga. And there's more.
To be fair, you could easily build a Jenga.
You could. But this is like I think like a true. It was Jenga. It wasn't
Jenga, but
legit Jenga. Which I always liked that game. It was fun, but it's funny to watch them play it. But yeah, they're just hanging out, and then this guy shows up, and I don't remember his name.
Gerald. His name is Gerald.
Gerald. Okay. He came, like you said, he had, what was it? He had nuts,
like spiced apples, I think, right? Dried apples.
Dried apples. Okay. I thought they were nuts. They looked like nuts.
Yeah.
Either way, he's got some kind of snack that he says that woman likes, the trader. They're at first are kind of worried about who he is because they're afraid he's, somebody who's not who he says, and they tie him up. But he tells them, oh, no, I have a community here. And I did enjoy this scene just because it was funny, I thought. And this is where I said I feel like there's more comedy this year, where he's saying, oh, we have a church there. And she's like, now, when somebody says church, they mean cult. But he literally means church. And she starts like testing him on scripture, and he totally gives it right back to her.
Well, he says, oh, we're worse than a cult. We're Presbyterians.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great line. But he does know his scripture, and it seems like he's telling the truth. And he's like, come see our community. So then they leave, which then I was also thinking, she just trusted you with all her stuff, and now you took off. I don't know. I always feel like bad things are going to happen when people do things.
I felt like that too. Like, she wanted you to stay here and guard her stuff, and you immediately took off with the first person you met.
And then the other thing that I thought, because I've been watching too many of these Walking Dead shows, is I immediately thought when they started having this, drinking alcohol and having a party, I'm like, oh, great, they're going to eat them. I'm like, there's something coming that they're like drugging them or something, which they weren't. They just seem to be this nice community. And that's where they're like, hey, we'll give you the power for free so you can help your community. And I really like that. This guy's like, but do we want that? And she's like, it'll change. He's like, it'll change things. And she's like, for the better. But he's like, yeah, but will it? We've gotten away from cell phones and electricity and all that stuff. Like, we've become people who care about people and who, spend time with each other. We don't need that distraction type of thing. And I kind of get it. Like, having that kind of power also creates power struggles and creates fights and everything else. And I don't mean power, just literally power. Right. I mean power, like having things that make you powerful and create more fights.
I mean, honestly, can 60 people build a walker power plant, and like, can they find enough walkers here in the woods to power it? Like, I don't know if it's doable for them, but
I don't know. But it also would put them in danger if they're not good at fighting walkers.
Yes, well, yeah, it draws attention. If you have electricity at night, it's going to draw attention, right? Of humans and of Walker. Like, I agree with you. I liked it, and he made a very good argument of like, that's great, thank you, but we're good here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. I thought they were going to get drugged when they were given the drugs too. So it wasn't just me. But yeah, I guess for once we find a legit nice community. It only happens once in a million times on The Walking Dead, but I like it. That's why I said I feel like this season, a lot of it's more hopeful about the fact that there are some nice people left in the world. Maybe not a lot, but there's some. Yeah. I was a little confused, though, if some of this was supposed to be happening simultaneously or if this was actually his cabin, because I thought they were still in her cabin, but then they had the kids running outside. So I was a little confused if they had left them in
Daryl's cabin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they built these cabins or if they took over like a summer camp or something. I'm not really sure, but.
Oh, yeah. Didn't he say something like they used to come up there when he was young or something? He makes a
comment. They have all these glass windows and stuff. So this was existing stuff that I think he says we used to come here for vacation or whatever. And then we decided to stay here.
Yeah. So they take communion, they talk, they have a party, they drink, they have fun. The whole really point of the scene, I love their little lanterns though, but the whole really point of the scene is that Maggie and Louise dance and she kisses him, but then you find out she imagines it. And that's what annoyed me. Like, either commit to her kissing him or don't. But the fact she imagined it was, in my opinion, dumb. But yeah, so I guess the idea is she likes Louise. She's freaked out that she does because she feels guilty because of Glenn. Because she has flashbacks of Glenn in this episode.
So I agree with you. I think the writing has been good enough in this episode. And I think Cohan is a good enough actress that we could see her hesitate and pull back from him and understand that she was afraid it would go too far, that to a place she's not comfortable with kissing him without having to see it. And that, like, I'm like, thank you, writers. We're smarter than that. And we can follow the acting and get it. I agree. We didn't have to see like Maggie imagining how far it goes. And then, oh, guess what, viewers? You didn't really see that.
It was just extra that didn't need to be there. I mean, like I said, I didn't mind it. I'm fine with her liking him. It's cool. I don't know that I really care per se one way or another, just because I'm not watching Walking Dead for the romance, but it's fine. I like Louise. I'm that's cool. Yeah, but
give us credit that we don't want to see an imagined scene and then have it not happen.
Yeah. But they're doing about look, I'm liking a lot of this season. There's a lot of things I do like of this season. So I'm totally fine with the way it's going. Then she holds her ring around her chain, her wedding ring. And or I don't know, that could be Glenn's wedding ring. I'm assuming it's hers, but I guess it really could be Glenn's. It doesn't really matter. But she's holding the wedding ring and it becomes important later. Were you surprised that they had flashes of Glenn? Because
I was.
The whole idea of like, I think I had told you that I had seen on that one that somebody had been talking about the fact that like Maggie gave Herschel the pocket watch, but never even mentioned Glenn. And it seems like they've been avoiding mentioning Glenn. And the fact that they had flashbacks, I don't know, just really threw me. I wasn't expecting.
Well, it surprised me also because I was like, oh, do they now have to pay Steven Yeun because he was like shown in this? I mean, he doesn't speak. He says, you hear his voice say, I love you. So I'm like, oh, he's, anytime you speak words, you get a residual, right?
No.
Or I don't know. I'm not an actor. That's what I understand.
But it seems like they've been avoiding using flashbacks from the original series. So it just was interesting and a little surprising.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm not sure if I feel like it's like we have a connection to the original series and that's okay. Like that they're expecting all of us, or is it to remind us, or is it for people who like didn't know? Like, I'm not really, I don't really.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. I just was surprised. I don't know that they couldn't have done it in a different way and just had her say, I'm thinking of my husband, and we would have got it. But yeah, I mean, it was just a nice and a little surprise. That's all. But the woman comes back. She gives them all the drugs they ask for. Yes, he tastes the morphine and somehow knows it's morphine. I don't know, but I don't know what morphine tastes like. I never really thought about it.
Ask a doctor.
Yeah. But they did get what they wanted. So it went well. Everybody's alive. And yeah, it was a pretty good trip, right?
But now it's a little awkward in the car with them, right? Because right?
Yeah, she was apologizing to him, like, because she made him leave. They were dancing and having fun. And then she's kind of like, we got to go. because she was freaked out. And
Yeah.
we know why. She never explained. I don't know if she ever explained to him
knows
why.
why. He knows
He
why.
knows why, but they didn't. She, like we said earlier, she wasn't really talking about it. Okay, so they come back while Renaud is talking to him about the apartment. She clearly does not tell Maggie what she knows.
That's the point where we don't have to rehash it, but where Negan's like, Renata, I know what you're up to. You're trying to trick me. You want me to move in here so you can you don't trust me. You want to watch me. You want to keep an eye on me. And if I don't agree to move in here, you're going to tell Maggie, right?
Yeah.
And Renata's like,
that's not why I'm doing this. That's not me. Now, whether it is remains to be seen.
I kind of believe her, because Renata's the person who was like, okay, all you new people, you can either take a scythe and help us farm or go ahead and kill each other with all these scythes. I don't really care either way, right? She was like, I kind of believe her. Like, I'm not sure if this is about setting up Renata to not be who we think she is, or if this is really about Negan having to change.
Yeah. Because I'm not sure how we're supposed to see it. Like at times I think maybe she's trying to trick him. I don't know. But yeah, I think she seems pretty genuine for it, but we'll find out.
Yep.
I mean, she seems like she's supposed to be a good person, but there's levels of good. As we know.
I mean, she seems to maybe be her character seems maybe straightforward.
Yes, that's a better way to put it. Yes. And also, if anybody has questions for her, talking to her tomorrow, if you want.
Who's her? Who is her?
Amy Garcia, who plays Renata.
Thank you. I asked because there's a picture of Maggie, and that's why.
No, I know. No, unfortunately, not Lauren. Not that I don't like Amy Garcia. I love Amy Garcia, but I'd like to talk to Lauren Cohen too. But no, Amy Garcia, who plays Renata. That's tomorrow. You can drop them in our Discord in our submit questions section. I talked to Jimmy Simpson today too. That was a really fun interview. So those will be going up soon.
That's cool.
All right. So who plays? I do that, and then I think, yes, I should say Jimmy Simpson, who plays Dillard on the show.
Who thankfully is barely in this episode.
Yes, his talking walkers are not in this hardly. All right, so there he is there. After I said that, I should have clicked on that picture first, right? They're moving walkers, and they're getting them, ready for the electric. But the point of this scene is we had earlier in the episode saw the road cracked, and then here the crack is getting bigger. And that cage ends up falling. Maggie ends up falling.
It's a sinkhole. A big sinkhole is opening under the road.
Yeah, right? They say it could be an earthquake or sinkhole. I don't know if they exactly explained.
Well, I mean, if it's New York, it's much more likely in New York City to be a sinkhole than an earthquake, right? I mean, the city of New York has all these subway tunnels under it and conduit tunnels, and sinkhole. Yeah. Probably.
So, but anyway, the walker cage gets knocked down. Maggie gets knocked down. This walker's almost killing her. Excuse me. Negan gets pushed too. They're all kind of in danger. But the point of this scene is Maggie loses her ring. Her necklace gets pulled off and she loses it. And she hesitates to kill the walker because she's looking for the ring and the necklace. And look, we know Maggie's not going to die, but I was still like, why are you such an idiot? Forget the damn necklace. Glenn wouldn't want you to die looking for the necklace. But yeah, she does obviously get away. However, she does not get the necklace back. But I actually got it caught one.
There's Glenn.
She's having a flashback again.
I mean, I thought it was a great scene leading up to that. It was very exciting. There were some great walker kills. There was once where they chopped off a head and all this blood shoots out of its neck, which was very gross and exciting. And it was a pretty good walker fight, which includes Negan and Herschel and Dillard and a bunch of people are in it, right?
Yeah. The point of this scene right here is that Dillard and Renata and Herschel go to get as much food as they can before everything collapses so they can get something. Because if they lose the building, they lose all their food. So they at least need to grab what they can. And they do end up having to stop.
It does seem in retrospect to have been a mistake to have all their food in a central storehouse, right? But
yeah,
who knew there would be a sinkhole?
Yeah, during an apocalypse, keep it in two places, people. But they get separated. I don't know. See, that's why I thought maybe it was an earthquake as opposed to a sinkhole, because I wonder if this was being a sinkhole now makes more sense to me. I hadn't really thought too deeply about it. But I thought the way the end of this episode was going, that they're like, we're completely separated from them, and like they were going to take an episode or something to try to get back to them. But sinkhole, they can probably walk around. But they're in the buildings are like split. There's like a big split in the road down below. So they're kind of on the opposite side from the rest of the people at this moment. But that's where the episode ends. So the end. All right. Well, yeah, like I said, I like where this show's going this season. Not a whole lot happened this episode, but I still think it was pretty good. I definitely like this season a lot better than the other 2 seasons of the show. It's still Walking Dead, but I'm liking it.
It is a better season for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Sorry, AJ. You can come back now. I know he's waiting for us to be done here.
All right, what's up next?
This was episode 5, right? No, was it 4 or 5?
It was 4.
4. Okay. There is 8 episodes, so we're halfway through.
Thank God. Did you guys see my comment?
No,
yeah,
what was
I saw your private comment, not comment.
No, my comment in the chat about how long when Glenn died. Season 7, episode 1, 25 minutes into the episode.
Oh,
okay. Thank you. Sorry, I did not.
Reason I stopped watching.
I know.
Because
I
fuck
know
the show.
you stop watching.
Because fuck the showrunners for making sure I stuck around for 25 minutes so they got credit for my watch.
Well, at any rate,
that is why they did it.
If you did like Dead City and you quit watching it, this season is pretty good. As good as, Walking Dead can be.
I mean, I think it's also better than the Daryl Dixon show. Or at least this last season of the Daryl Dixon
show. I liked when they had Daryl and Carol together. But other than that part of it, yes. I do think it's been better. The writing's better.
Yeah. So, all right, what's up next, you guys?
We can do ARC. Like I said, I don't know that I remember as many details about this.
Okay, I watched it yesterday. 80s watched it. We'll remember it. It was a cuckoo episode.
I need clarification, B. What was hilarious? I said a lot.
You're just generally hilarious, AJ.
I try.
All right.
The part that it was 25 minutes in and you're mad that they took credit for your view.
Actually, I do know the picture. I screwed that up. Hold on. I gotta fix my picture. Go ahead and talk. You can talk while I'm doing this.
I mean, and AJ, you're not alone in abandoning the show at that moment. Right.
Well, no. See, a lot of people abandoned it because they killed Glenn. I abandoned it because they took Glenn's moment away from him by including Abraham.
Yeah, and they did the cliffhanger at the end of the previous season. As comic book readers, you and I knew it was coming. Many people knew it was coming. It was the execution that irritates you. And B says,
"Yeah, I saw it." Yeah. And actually, I'm going to clarify. B. I literally, as soon as we find out they killed Abraham and then they killed Glenn. I was like, all right, at least they kind of sorted the Glenn good, but they still cheated him out of his comic death. And then I turned it off.
Yeah.
Then you never looked back.
B says they lost 3 million viewers that day. I believe you. I mean, I not that I would believe you, but I think B is quoting like a known fact, not like just being like 3 million.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah. It kind of changed the show. I don't know. I kind of feel like the show went downhill at that point, but I more didn't like the violence. And I think a lot of people felt like that too. It was a little too much.
I was disappointed that I wasn't going to continue watching it, actually, because I love JDM and him playing Negan to me was like a dream.
Jamie, that's an incredibly violent moment in the comic book that they really couldn't get around.
Yeah, no, I know. But I know a lot of people were turned off by that. I mean, I kept watching it. But it still bothered me. It was a lot.
They could have toned it down for TV or had it happen off screen or something. Yeah, they didn't show his eyeball.
Walking Dead. Look, to be fair, Walking Dead is a violent show. It has always been a violent show. Yep. But I feel like it was a little more than maybe they needed. But not everybody feels that way. A lot of people like watching the violence and probably don't care one way or another. But a lot of people were bothered by it. So, all right,
let's talk about the show. Can I talk about myself for a minute?
Go.
I had said to you guys, I texted you and I said, you know what? I really agree with AJ. And I think that the part of the show that is happening on the arcs in space is so much more interesting than the planet. And I stand by that, but the part that's happening in space is becoming kind of annoying also to me. And the clone business, like, is this becoming a show about less about like exploration? Like the whole thing was that Arc 1 was going to go out and like try to save people and bring them back and build the planet, and now it really is just becoming a show about clones, maybe. Like,
I feel like this is probably the end of the clone thing. You don't think? You think it's going to keep?
oh,
I mean, obviously they're going to go after that guy probably at some point. Or
Miami Vice is definitely coming back.
Yeah,
That guy's coming after them.
Yeah.
Drake's
or that's what I meant. Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think that the clone part of it's going to be like a huge part of the storyline for most of the season. I wouldn't think.
Oh, I
It
do.
He comes back, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I mean, I think we're going to find out. You know, is he the one that created the clones? Why did he have the clones? But I don't feel like the focus is going to be on the clones. Maybe I'm
100%. Kelly says, I hope it's the end of the clone thing. I mean, she found out she's a Gen 3. Like, that can't be just dropped now. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, there's that. I forgot about
She's
that.
special. She's a Gen 3 that didn't go crazy.
Yeah. She's the one. She's Neo. She's the one, right?
Yeah.
I have to assume that that's why he wants her, because she didn't.
Well, yeah,
go
obviously. He wants to understand. He
her
wants
that
to understand. He wants to dissect her to figure out why she didn't go crazy like other Gen 3s and take from her and put it into other Gen 3s. So
I'm sorry. Isn't the Southern Belle, who's his wife, she's also a third gen, right?
No.
I don't think that model necessarily.
Because Reese said, like, how do you know she's a G44 or whatever? And she says, oh, honey, you're looking at one, right?
I don't think G44 means Gen 3. I think it's just what she looks like.
Oh, her model. Just the model looks like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think, but then that's a stupid statement, because obviously he knows she's one, because he was like, why would she be like, you're looking at one? Like, he knows he's looking at one. He's not blind.
I mean, I'll say
and we didn't know what it meant.
The Garnets locked up, banging their heads against the wall. I'm pretty sure they were Gen 3s, but they weren't the special ones.
Yeah.
Well, we're not. There's no way it's the end of the clone thing. Like, could it be?
No, not at all.
I guess the worry is it safe to follow her is going to be probably a storyline too, which I didn't think of.
Well, I think the storyline is going to be like her doubting herself now for episode after episode, and the fake who I believe is a fake admiral, trying to like use her insecurity to take back. I don't believe that guy's an admiral at all. But let's go ahead and
let's go through and we'll comment.
And also, I'm assuming because they weren't passworded until you went to download them, you probably don't want to go look at photo dumps for this show ahead of time. I also found out going to look for photos because they put them up ahead of time.
All right. So we begin on arc 22.
Yes, where they ended the episode with them, her being captured or whatever. I can't remember if they had knocked them out at the end of the last.
Yes, they fought all those their way out of the med bay in the previous.
Okay, I couldn't remember specifically where it ended. Hey, Fletcher, welcome.
Buenos dias.
Fletch.
Fuck us. So anyway, they've knocked him out, and look, they pull what we knew was coming. They're going to steal their clothes so they can pretend to be them, because they look like them. So they do take their stuff and start dressing like them. And thank you, Fletcher, and happy birthday. I hope you had a good birthday. That's awesome.
Have a great birthday, MF.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So yes, they steal their clothes so they can because they look like them and they can use it to get away, right? Yeah. And here he is trying to find out what's going on, and telling his other clones to watch out for them. And
I want them alive.
I want them alive. Don't do anything.
Scan them all.
Yeah. So they make their way around the ship, and Oh, by From Log Soldiers. Okay, sorry. I thought that's what it meant too. Let's remember it. My From Log Soldiers.
No,
All
we
right.
knew exactly that. We knew exactly what you meant, Fletch. No,
Yeah,
not,
until
you
I
don't
said
think,
the other thing.
no.
Anyway, so they make their way around the ship, and this is where they find the room full of the other, whatever it was you called them, G64s, the other G44s, whatever, the other Garnet clones.
Oh my god, here's another
Yeah.
example of a thing that looks so much better on my screen and looks like bad Photoshop on this little picture.
Well, it's a freeze frame. I mean, I love their
I know,
reactions.
that's what I'm saying. It happens all the time with these pictures.
It does.
And look, she's got like all these scars on her head, which
Yeah, I am
It's
creeped out by the fact he's like cutting their heads open.
like who did that? Who cut their head like an X? Was an operation done on her to see if she was the one? Because they were
Yeah.
trying to put her neck dead, right?
Yeah,
think
I'm
about
guessing
it.
that
When
guy who
Garnet-
had that woman had that other clone cut them open, and they're trying to take something from their brain.
Yeah.
Or
When Garnet was on the table, she had a bone saw in her hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
I'd
creepy.
I'd like to think about what it takes to make like the Garnet clone was going to cut her clone sister open. Like, is she just cold as ice and doesn't care, or is she terrified of Drake? Drake, is that his name?
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought it was just that one. I can see now looking at the picture. She has
it's
it on
all-
her head too.
Yeah.
They all have them. So yeah, creepy, but I'm sure very fun.
Fletch,
Yeah.
that's not the her that you think it is. It's another clone.
Those are all
No,
clones.
it's a clone. Yeah, it's not Garnet. It's another Garnet, or a version of Garnet, I guess you should say. All right. So meanwhile, on the ship, they are still trying to get to Garnet and save her. I think at this point, that admiral is still locked up, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're trying to do everything they can to save her and find out where she is, but they at one point are locked out of the system. You should come back, Fletcher. It's a good show. So and she comes and she tries to talk. I guess in her mind, talk some sense into him. He's trying to talk sense into her.
Well, she's trying to ask him to let them, like, unlock them out of the system.
Yeah,
why she
because
comes there.
I think when they get locked out of the system might be when he gets out, though. I think that's the
Right, you're right. Right. Yeah.
But
She's trying to read right now.
yeah, she's trying to talk to him and get him to understand why they're doing what they're doing. And as I said last week, like I see both sides of it because they did get Bryce killed with their recklessness and
Really? I think Bryce got
Maybe.
Bryce killed. I think Bryce got killed.
Well,
Bryce
yes.
got killed with his selflessness.
Yeah, true. But my point is that they did risk their whole ship to save one guy, but they didn't know it was going to be one guy. I know, but I can see his point of view of the way he's looking at it.
No, he's a dick. Their mission is to save people and bring people back. Like their whole mission is to save people, and they
But
save.
it's to save like lots of people, not to risk everybody to save one person.
Right,
Like
you don't get to tell people that their mission is wrong. Like they save you, and then you're like, you're wrong. Well, whatever. Sorry, we saved you, but you don't get to come here and change our mission and be in charge of us.
No, you're right. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and saying I can understand his point.
I do not. I think he's
trying to be. I think he's a dick, but he also. I mean, like I said, before, I kind of agree with him. Like him leaving them there when they were going to shoot at the ship, they weren't safe. Like Garnet said, protect these people. She didn't say, come back for me. Like he's doing what
protect these people. He said you take control of the ship while I'm away for what I think is temporary.
No, but she said protect them. I mean, that was the directive she gave them: protect the people on the ship. That was what she said to him when she left.
He is using the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few as an advantage to whatever he is actually up to.
He is a fake it. He's a
Doesn't give
lying
two shits.
liar. He's not an admiral, and he's trying to get control of the ship. That's what I think.
Okay, well, we'll see. I don't know. I unfortunately do not have screeners, so I have no clue.
He could be an admiral, which is probably neither here nor there.
He's a bad admiral.
But he's not. He's
not
have-
a total player at any rate.
He doesn't actually give two shits about anybody on that ship.
Maybe he was on that planet alone because his people were like, "This guy is such a dick. Let's dump him down there."
No, he's probably the only one that survived because he found some place to hide and said fuck everybody else.
Yeah,
maybe we'll find out.
And I would just like to put up this little comment that we have. Kelly says, "Yes, the admiral is really sus."
Neo also says the Admiral gets under my skin, though. Yes, he
Like-
is annoying. I get that.
Like because he's hot or because he's a jerk?
I think he means yes, he is hot, but he's a jerk too. Both things can be true. Okay, so this is where he's like, they find the bodies of the ones that are there and know, because I mean, look, if they found all of them, knocked out, whether they took over their identities or not, they know they're running around the ship somewhere. So he wants them to find Garnet and Ian. And then meanwhile, back on the planet, we have this, which I do agree that they could have two separate storylines completely and fill them both and it might work better. But they are still trying to find, oh God, I hate when I do that. Sorry.
Kelly and Angus are missing.
Well, no, this is before the Kelly and Angus thing. This is before Felix comes in. Right now, they're talking about they're basically trying to blame the EF.
Oh, the generator explosion.
Yes, generator explosion.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And they're blaming the EF and
blame it on Kelly. Blame it on the Eastern Federation, right?
Yeah, and Zed is like, why is it automatically us? Like, you know what? And he's like, there is no more EF. There is no more the other whatever letters they are.
GSA.
Thank you, GSA. He's like, we're one people. You know, like this has got to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're kind of fight. I mean, they're not outright fighting, but there's definitely unrest, and they don't trust each other. All right. So then Felix comes in, and he wants help looking for Angus and Kelly. They're kind of like, they're not coming back.
Wait, no, the generator. No, I take that back. They were fighting about the housing issues.
Oh yeah, they're like, too many people here now, and they're taking our houses and all that.
They're complaining. Kelly reminds us they're complaining it's too crowded and not enough generators for everyone.
Yeah, the explosion comes later.
And there's a real like, we were here first. They're taking up too many resources, and kind of thing.
Yeah.
Going on.
Though. What does that say? What? TIO? I'm just reading that and wondering what it says. I think maybe
it's just a logo of whatever was sent in there.
Okay. I don't know. I just wondered because I thought it was.
It's just a logo of whatever manufacturer.
Yeah, it's just a logo.
Okay. I just wondered. He's trying to get people to come help him find Kelly and Angus, and this girl who was the one that had been with Angus.
The main Kelly hater.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. For something about her, I still don't trust, and I don't know why, but I mean,
well,
I don't know.
You know what? You know who I don't trust? Fuck Sanji.
Oh, okay. Hold that thought.
Why do I say that every week? I'm sorry.
You hate her.
Because, the reason I say it in this moment is because Felix is like, I'm going back out to look for them. Who's coming with me? Gabby's the only Gabby, and he looks right at Sanji. And Sanji kind of has this like ashamed, like trying to hide her face. I
don't want to be part of it.
Like, Angus is your friend.
Yep. And Dr. What's-It, her boyfriend, he also doesn't volunteer.
Well, you know, it's funny. He should volunteer because he's all gung-ho to go beat somebody up. So let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and he could have even used it as an excuse to watch that guy too, that sheriff guy if he'd gone with him.
No, but that's the thing. Milan isn't going. It's just
no. I mean, if he went before, I meant he could have went, but they didn't.
I'm not even talking about. I'm saying now, like everybody's completely abandoned the search. They're like, oh, well, screw it. You know, somebody's like, oh, Kelly's probably the one that we can't find because they killed him and took him off.
Also, on this planet are a whole bunch of Arc 1 people, like all the red shirts and no-name extras from Arc. There's a lot of Arc 1 people living in this community who also don't want to go save Angus, who fed them and saved them and grew all their food for like the entire time they were in space. Right?
There are a lot of cowards. That's
yes, they are, Jake. Yes.
All right. So Kelly and Angus are still here in the man-made cave trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And suddenly they see rocks and they're like, why are they giving us rocks?
Not suddenly.
Okay. That's the way I describe it. You're right. It's not suddenly. They're sitting there waiting for something to happen.
They're having a conversation about how they're going to die there because they have no food or water. And Kelly says something about they're going to die in a couple of days because they have no food. And Angus is like, actually,
Yeah.
You die if you don't have enough water for, if you don't have water within 3 days, you'll die. Food, you can go months. And then she kind of gets to know him a little better. He talks about how his family was really struggling, and they would sometimes go weeks without food. And
So I want to ask you, AJ, and then maybe Jamie, because I remember this. What do you think about this? Like, Angus is like sharing this thing with Kelly that we hadn't heard before. Do you think they're gonna like be closer when they come out of this? Is there trouble in paradise with Alicia?
I think they're gonna get closer, but sorry, you
I asked AJ first.
I know you did. Go ahead.
I absolutely think they're going to get closer. It doesn't mean they have to have a romantic relationship. They can just be friends,
Okay.
But to be fair, Alicia is on a spaceship a long ways away. Which I think it's really funny and kind of telling that they split up both couples on from the Ark. Like the two established couples, they split them up. Bryce and
Bryce and I want to say Katya, that's not her name. Ava, Bryce and Ava, and Angus and Alicia, right?
Yeah.
Jamie, what do you think about like?
I think they're going to get closer, but I hope it's not going to turn into another love triangle again. I mean, I don't want them to go there with them, but I do think it could make them friends again. I'm fine with that. I like Kelly. I never really disliked her.
Oh, I did for a while.
No, but I mean, like overall, I like
until we found out how her mother basically tortured her. Then I kind of
then you felt bad for her. So what do you think about this? They're given this puzzle. So their captors are. I thought at first they were trying to communicate with them, and they were like, because they even said, why would they give us rocks? We can't eat rocks, because they did it right after they were talking about needing food or water. So I thought at first maybe they're trying to communicate, but clearly no, their captors are, I don't know, saying dance, monkey dance. I don't know.
Their captors are deciding if they're sentient or not.
Yeah, I thought it was a test. I thought it was a test.
Yeah, it's an intelligence test.
Yes, it sees if they can make this puzzle. No, I'm just saying that's not what I thought at first until we put it together.
I mean, when I looked at them, it like when they showed it, it's so obvious that they go together. I was like,
yeah,
how can I really not see it? Angus figures it out. It seemed really obvious to us viewers.
Well, Angus is smarter than Kelly, so.
She's not.
I'm joking. I'm just joking.
But yeah, I thought it was a test to see if they could figure it out. It's an intelligence test. It's a patience test. It's a test.
Yeah, because as soon as Angus puts it together, they give him food 2 seconds later.
Yeah. And it's a sign that they don't actually want these two dead. I mean, Kelly has been like, they're trying to kill us. They try to throw us in a lava pit, and Angus is like, wait a minute. They showed us a lava pit.
They did. But they're still making them do these things before they give them the food.
Well, they haven't made them do anything. They didn't make them do anything.
No. But I mean, they could have given him the food and still given him the puzzle. I mean, they clearly didn't give him the food until they did the puzzle.
They gave him the puzzle as a test to see if they were going to give them food. Like if they couldn't figure out the puzzle, as far as their captors, because we know. Like, keep in mind, we know nothing about their captors. We know nothing about how they communicate, nothing how they think, nothing. Could they be humanoid? Possibly. Could they be insectoid? Maybe. Like they could be possibly anything. So they don't know anything about our culture. We don't know anything about theirs. So in their mindset, if they can't solve the puzzle, well, that means they're not worth helping, and we're going to eat them later.
I guess, but if you arrive in a spaceship and you build a habitation on the planet, like, can we just cut to the chase that you're probably intelligent?
I agree, but with what they gave me, I'm going off of what we were giving in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Yes. All right. So either way, they solved the puzzle. It must be later they solved the puzzle, because I did take a picture of them getting the food. So that must be.
It takes an annoyingly long time. This business in the caves, to me, needs to end fast.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things to me that need to end fast.
All right. So then we have Sanji.
Jamie, that picture's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. I got a bad timing, but
no, that's perfect timing.
Of Sanji and her boyfriend here.
Oh, that's even better.
Now she's looking up and she sees them making out. So that's what that was about.
So these two are not hiding their relationship at all. They're like groping each other at breakfast.
Yeah, right in front of, and Sanji doesn't. It surprises her. I don't know that she. I mean, look, it's not like she wants to get back with them, but it still, affects her, and she doesn't know what to think there. So, I think they have a call. No, she ran out. I thought they had a conversation. At one point, they have a conversation where she says like about,
Hey,
is she
Jen.
going to tell her? Hi, Jen. Yeah.
Well, she says like, I should tell her he's my ex-husband. He was abusive. I should tell the new woman that he's abusive.
I should warn.
I should warn her.
Warn her off. Okay, so then we have the stuff with Ava and Trust here. I love like these scenes, and I really love that Trust is trying so hard.
I'm already over it.
I think it's funny. He's trying to be a good guy.
I'm over
Not
it.
good at it. He's trying.
I'm over Trust. The scene with Sanji later. It's just like, it was cute at first. I appreciate that he's trying, but now it's just campy.
It is campy, but I don't know. I like the scenes.
His problem is that like he doesn't really want to be a good guy or be better. This other version of him who like Kat married and everybody liked, like he doesn't really want to be a good guy, but he wants to be. I feel like he just wants to be liked and worshipped more, and you have to be less abrasive to be that. I don't know that he has a good motivation, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just over it because it's getting silly now, and it's just like it feels out of place. Okay. Like the joke only lasts so long, but when you continuously do it every scene he's in, it's not funny anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
So anyway, the point of this scene is she's still looking at, and we talked about this last week, she's still looking at how Bryce supposedly died. And we do see in this scene when these bug creatures are attacking him, he suddenly disappears kind of. I don't know. To me, it looked like it was hard to tell. Like it could have been that it ate him or threw him or something. It was really hard to see.
I'm not sure. Like, part of me feels like it's likely that AJ initial instinct was correct and he's probably still alive. But part of me could be like, could the story actually be like just taking Ava down a path of obsession and a bad track? But probably this is not that deep a show, and probably he's alive, right?
Probably. The way they did this video made me think that she's probably right, because it does look weird the way he like blips out or whatever. Which is what
somebody beamed him up to their spaceship.
Yeah, maybe.
Somebody has beaming technology that we're not aware of.
Maybe. But either way, she's not.
Star Trek crossover.
What?
Star Trek crossover.
Star Trek crossover, yeah. Well, either way, she's not willing to give up on it, but he's trying to get her to help him with, I forget, the stuff to do with the generator. He needs her to help him.
He's like on the case trying to figure out what happened with this generator. Why did it blow up? Was it sabotage? And how do I fix it? Right?
Yeah. But she is
in between stops at the bar to pick up beautiful cocktails.
Yeah.
Right?
It does look like a good drink though. But yes, he is trying to get her to quit moping around. Focus
on work. He wants her to focus on her job.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot to ask.
Yeah, and then I don't know if that's not worse. I forget what they're looking at. I was thinking that was where the explosion happened, but it's not.
Neo asks, anyone have ideas on how he could have vanished? I'm stumped. I mean, I am too, because we do not have a beam me up technology on this show, right? So
nobody with an arc does.
I would be annoyed if they introduced this like magical technology, right? That would be annoying if that's what happened. But it's possible.
Well, whatever it is, it's probably science, right?
Science, bitch.
I guess. I mean, could something happen that somehow shielded him from appearing on the recording somehow, right? I mean, could the monster have sort of like somehow enveloped him? But I mean, I guess where I'm going is, could the monster have not the alien have not killed him, but it did kill everybody else. So I don't see why it would not kill him.
Yeah. Maybe maybe they were like, you know what, this one's really hot and muscular. Maybe we'll keep him around.
Maybe he fell in a hole, like into a hole.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe there was a.
I would think these creatures kind of can just crawl into a hole after themselves.
Well,
Yeah.
a little
Well-
hole. That's only a human-size hole.
It's only a
Okay.
human size.
You know what? Anything's possible. I just hope it's solved soon.
Yeah, they keep focusing on it. I mean, I think he's probably
And-
alive.
okay.
I agree with what you said, though. It could be about her obsession, but I tend to think
This is kind of what I mean, though. Like, we've got a not a large cast, but a large enough cast that we keep giving them all 5 minutes here and there in the episode, so it feels like nothing really moves forward. Like, we're on episode 3 and nothing has really changed.
AJ, you sound a little bit like me when I say all the time, we need to kill some of these characters. There's too many of them.
I wouldn't be against it. Can we start with Sanji?
well, that's where if they were two separate shows, maybe we wouldn't be feeling like this. I don't know.
All right, you guys need to give it up. It didn't happen. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So they're trying to figure out still what they can do to save her. I don't remember the science they come up with. I don't know that it matters, but they're trying to figure out what to do.
Well, the others jumped to FTL and they don't know how to track it.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out how to find them. And then meanwhile, they're still trying to run away and get away from the guy that I don't remember his name.
Miami Vice. Drake.
And they see this new set of clones who are younger. I mean, look, there's a lot of different versions of clones on this ship, but they're new. You know, they're young, so they're making new clones.
I don't know about that.
At least that's what they theorize.
I do not agree with that. They open the door and Ian says, "Oh, look, they're making new clones." But this is arc 20. They were on arc 1. This is arc 22. Like, do you really think they didn't make any more clones after? Or Ian comes from arc 3, right? Do you really think there was no more cloning between arcs 3 and 22? Like, I mean, making child clones that maybe will never grow, I don't know, is creepy and weird. But the idea that we should be surprised.
Wait, but didn't all clones start as children and grow?
I guess they did. Yes, we saw flashback. You're right. We saw flashbacks.
Yeah, because Garnet was a kid.
Like, I just think the idea that, like, I just don't think we should be shocked that, like, the Ians and the Garnets are the only clones in the world. No, like, many.
I wasn't surprised by it.
Well, there was a lot of different versions of clones on the ship. I'm just saying that that's what they said when they opened the door. He
does say, he says, "Oh, look, they're making more clones."
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole point of clones, is that you make more.
So they've been locked out of the system, and the Admiral has taken over.
The Admiral's shirt is very tight, isn't it?
It is. It is. They want higher rating.
Everyone's clothes on this ship are very tight.
We don't have Bryce right now.
I mean, it's the style of the uniform.
Yeah. But
maybe he can only wear Bryce's clothes, and he's.
Oh, that's right. These are Bryce's clothes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because he had a Bryce name tag on, right? He's wearing Bryce's clothes.
And they were like, really? And he's like, oh, and he pulls it off.
Yeah.
All right. And Kelly said, kill someone off and bring back Bryce. Yes, I'm okay with that. Oops. Okay, well, he has gotten out of where they had him held, and he's like, I was giving you guys a chance to come to your senses.
But I overpowered your stupid guard and came up here to be a dick.
Yeah. Basically. And they keep, arguing with them. And then a guy comes up to scan them because he's Drake is saying that everybody on the ship needs scanned because he's trying to find Garnet and Ian, because he's not stupid and figures it could be any of them. And the wife here, who is having an affair with this clone, tells the guy, oh, they're with us. You don't have to check them, which this part was, look, I get that they had to do it for the story, but it was like so dumb. Like, why would this guy listen to her and fall for that? Like, it to me would have made more sense if they just had her do this and distract him, and then Garnet and Ian like knocked him out.
He agreed because it's your boss's wife.
Yeah,
but she's a clone. Well, I guess he's a clone too.
No,
so
I mean, they established quite early in the season, in their appearance, where like Drake is appearing on camera to arc 1, right? And she basically comes and sits on his lap on the bridge. Like I guess it would make more sense, Jamie, if they had established more clearly that she wields power as his wife, right? And maybe they didn't show us enough of it, but I think because she's Drake's wife, she's like the late. Okay, she's not
established here.
because she's not smart, but
Yeah, because I definitely didn't think she had power. I thought he just married one of them because he liked the way she looked or whatever. I didn't think that there was anything that made me believe she had any sway over anybody. At least I didn't feel like that. So I don't know. To me, this was a little weird.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know how much real power she has, but I feel like she has power because she's his wife.
yeah.
Like, do you want me to go tell my husband that you refused me something? Because what do you think will happen to you if I tell him that?
Yeah, because he's scared. Right.
Yeah.
But either way, they're like, you don't have to scan them. They're good. And they do ask them, I think it's later, they ask them why they helped them. And, they want to run away together because she's having an affair with Ian and, or not Ian, but Ian's Clark. And they want them to take them with them if they escape. So they're going to help them. And then we have more pushback from Alicia. Still trying to go on Garnet. And I was going to say, at a certain point, Kimmy gets Alicia Kimmy starts seeing his side of it and knows that it's kind of a lost cause and that there's no way they have no way of getting her back. Like, it's not that they're giving up. I mean, it's not that they're like abandoning her. They don't know how to find her. And
they are giving up and they are abandoning her because they don't know how to find her.
Right. But I'm saying it's not like there's another thing they can do and they're just not trying. There's nothing else to do. Yes. So it's kind of a lost cause. And she's like, maybe we ought to move on. She would want us to move on. Anything for freedom. This is the arc, which we're about almost 3/4 through, I guess, getting there. And then we have Lanterns and Star Trek.
Anything for freedom. We already talked about Dead City, so you would have to go back later and watch that. This is the arc, and then we've got the rest of the stream.
Yeah. So
I think
you're
right. Everything you said about Kimmy is right, but there is something else to it. I think Kimmy also realized that things could turn sideways if she doesn't stop it before it does.
Yeah, because they're risking too much.
Yeah.
Because the Admiral can probably beat up everybody on the bridge by himself and just do what he wants.
Yeah, and Alicia's getting like a little.
Oh, he takes the shirt off to do it. Okay.
Alicia's like getting a little too. She's pretty high strung already, and she's getting a little like strident. And I don't want to call her hysterical because that's a slur against women. That's all. It's not, but some people say hysterical women. You're crazy, right? But she's really. Alicia's like Alicia's desperate to find
her friend. She's pushing it too far and she's going to be more reckless. So, all right. So then this is where they're trying to find out. The one generator we had said before had blown up. They're trying to figure out what happened. I don't, again, there were science details, but they're trying to figure out who did it and what's going on.
What happened? They determined it was sabotaged. It was blown up. It wasn't an accident.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And then there's this whole scene with Sanji trying to tell her about her ex-husband.
Tell
Bess, which all this told me is that Bess is a bitch, and that's enough. I didn't
really know. Why?
Hold on. My favorite part is like, can I call you Bess? And she's like, everybody else does.
I don't know. I thought Bess was very rude to her. Like Sanji, okay, maybe Sanji doesn't need to tell her this, but clearly Bess doesn't want to hear it. And I don't know. I felt like she's almost trying to make her feel, I don't want to say jealous exactly. Maybe that's not the right wording, but I don't know. She was not very nice to Sanji, but I don't dislike Sanji like you do either. So,
I mean, I thought this was sort of a classic story of like, the new girlfriend scorning the old girlfriend and being like, she's very comfortable in her position. I feel like it's a little bit like she never says like he likes me better, but he chose me. He traded up kind of attitude that Bess has. She is condescending and a jerk, but I think it's a very like believable, the ex and the new, right? And, so Sanji has come to her with this information that she didn't ask for and doesn't want. And we've talked about like how's this going to go? And I think B had a really good comment. Don't warn them. They don't want to know if he's abusive. Just saying. So, I mean, I have I have no experience of this kind of relationship, but I read a lot of advice columns, and they're always like, they're not going to hear you. They don't want to hear it. And it always happens on TV and on shows that the new person doesn't want to hear it. They can't be warned, and then they experience it, and they're like, "Oh, you were right." It's only a matter of time, probably, before Vess experiences it, right?
Yeah, but she does say she knows he was a drunk and he's sober now. So I mean, maybe he has changed. We don't know. I doubt it, but
Can we not call him a drunk? Can we say he was addicted? Like, a drunk is pejorative. Okay,
he was addicted to alcohol, but she knows that he had an alcohol problem. So she's trying to say, well, he's fine now. Which she's giving him an excuse, but we don't know. I mean,
I think that's a classic excuse that we see in TV and movies, that it was the alcohol that made him do it, but it's not. It's the alcohol that allowed that part of him to come out. Like, that part's still in him, right? Whether he's addicted or not.
Right.
Hopefully he can control it. Hopefully when he's sober, he can control it. But I feel like this is like Chekhov's abusive husband. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get to put my 2 cents in.
Please do, AJ. Absolutely.
I don't know. Jamie moved on to the next picture.
Sorry. I'm just clicking. I'm doing this one-handed. So.
That's a great picture, because I know that picture makes AJ just want to lose his mind.
No. So I agree with a lot with what Karen said. Vess has doesn't come out and say it, but it's heavily implied. He quit drinking for me. Type of attitude. She's very dismissive of Sanji. Even so, in a way, like, as much as I can't stand Sanji half the time, I do feel bad for Sanji in this moment, because she's very dismissive of her, almost to the point of implying that it was her fault that he drank, not his.
Yeah.
Or she also could be implying that she's kind of like, you're just jealous. It's also kind of that too.
I mean, Vess, regardless of this situation, I'm pretty, based on everything we've seen with Vess, she's not a good person to begin with. So
she says to Sanji, she says, "Well, I was on the arc with him for 2 years, which is
you were only
twice
married
as long as you were married, right?" I'm like, "Oh, girl, famous last words."
Yeah.
And I mean, Sanji is telling her from a legit place of trying to warn her.
Okay, but would you believe that? Like, if you had a friend who was like, "Oh my God, my ex's girlfriend is calling me and telling me all this shit about him," would you be like, definitely believe it and run? Would you be like, take it with a grain of salt, or would you be like, treat her like a bitch? And Bess chose option 3, but 2 is right. Like,
maybe what she should have done. All right, so then we go. There's more with. I mean, this is kind of the same stuff with them that we talked about before.
Is this when he's like talking about a nudist beach or some shit, and she's like, "Yeah, it sounds great."
Oh yeah, and she's clearly.
And he's like, "You're not even listening to me."
Said. She's not paying attention to anything, because she's talking about Bryce.
She's
and everything.
Obsessed.
Yes. Well, she wants to find him. She thinks he's alive. And then there's a scene with Sanji and Trust at the bar, where he's like talking about Ava, and she thinks he's talking about her, trying to help her, and he's really talking about Ava, because he's still clearly doesn't get signals and doesn't see it. But
he has a self-interest with Ava. Like, when he's like, "Ava, you need to like get past this. It's not good for you, blah blah blah." But he doesn't really care. But Jamie, let me please finish. He doesn't really. I was going to say, he doesn't really care about Ava. He needs his assistant to help him solve the generator problem, right? Yes. Oh my God, Jamie, that picture you got that little shield picture. It's so cute.
Yeah, that was my the one I made up using their pictures, since they were named after them.
Right. But do you think, like, okay, thank you for letting me spit it out. Do you think I'm right about, like, Trust doesn't really care about her, right? He cares about himself.
Yeah. I don't know. I still feel like he's legit trying, but no, I think he more cares about himself than anybody else, for sure.
I agree 100%. But it's about trusting. I need my assistant. Get over it.
Yeah. But he clearly doesn't see that she's upset, and she thinks at first he's talking about him, but he does talk nice to her too. I mean, he didn't have to be nice
And
to
you
her.
know what's funny is this is the scene where I was finally like, oh my god, can we stop with this trust bullshit? Like it's repetitive, and it's going to continue, and it's going to it's just gotten old already. We're at episode 3, and every time we see trust, this is trust. Every time, give me asshole trust back. Seriously, give me asshole trust back. At least he was entertaining.
Well, I think it's not believable that she would hug him like that. Like, she's not that desperate for a friend right now.
Yeah.
She's well liked. Like, she has plenty of friends on the planet, and she's well liked. And I'm sorry, your boyfriend is like, you're having
Does she have plenty of friends though? We don't really know any of the red shirts. It's Felix and whatever the hell the boyfriend's name is.
I mean, we don't know if she has another red shirt. She's got nurses and people around and whatever.
She's mad at the boyfriend.
Her boyfriend's a jerk. She chose another domineering man. There's the puzzle, which is so obviously a puzzle.
Type.
Yes. He puts it together, and they get food. Yay.
They get some celery.
Some kind of vegetable. Yeah.
It looks like a cross between a celery and a turnip.
Turnip or something.
Yeah. Or two kinds of things. Yeah.
And then some kind of liquid, which I'm assuming might be water. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So then they're investigating again. They come to somebody messing with the generator. But before they can stop them, Trust sees that he's doing something that's like bad, because he does tell him like to get back. He sees it's going to blow, and it blows and hits them. Well, it hits, I guess, mostly the other guy, Milan. Yeah. And then meanwhile, they have gotten the shuttle. They've gotten onto the shuttle, I should say. They're going to disengage from the ship. The problem is that they're in FTL, so they can't just let go of the ship, or can't just disengage from the ship. They do some kind of science that Ian helps with to figure it out. And I think, doesn't she say something like, "Is this something you really learned, or something you learned in the dream?" She says something like that to him.
Yeah, he said it's something they did on what was he on, arc 3, 4?
Yeah, on arc 3 when he was on it, and she says
it's
going to work, and he's like, "Well, maybe."
She said, "Did it work then?" And he goes, "Sort of."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What does sort of mean?"
Yeah.
But my favorite moment. Did you get a picture of the kiss, Jamie? The kiss, just in case we die kiss. Yeah. But just in case we die kiss. She's like, you know what? I give Ian all props for that one, because that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was.
Like that right there is just like, I don't know if this is gonna work, so I'm taking my shot now.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
And yes, Fletcher, we have Librarians tomorrow night. Stream for that. All right, so the couple here has gotten off.
Clark and I forget her name. Clark and Mrs. Drake.
Yeah. So they've helped them get to the shuttle, and they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna disconnect from the ship. They send out a signal to their ARC, to prove their identity. Basically, they send it on like a hidden channel, so they'll know it's really them. And meanwhile, Drake is pissed and goes after them, trying to shoot at them, but they, drop out of FTL. But he does track them and go after them. And then meanwhile, they get the signal, and they're telling El Dico here. I can't remember. I was just going to call him. What was his name? Ben?
Ben Hammond.
Ben Hammond. They tell the Admiral here that they've got the message, and yes, it's really her, because otherwise, like,
maybe if they put his name on his bicep, do you remember, Jamie?
Yeah, maybe. No, I said Ben. I thought it was Ben. But they tell him, that Drake wouldn't have known how to contact them like that, so it couldn't be a trap. So they want to look. Now he's like, okay, well, this is something that we can try, but he still doesn't want to, because he doesn't think they have the shields. But I think he agree to let them do it, though. I think he does, doesn't he? Or they do it anyway?
It was basically like, we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember whether.
Nobody will listen to him. He has really no control over. He has no command really over them right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sasha. How many times has Sasha already been like, I listen to people I trust, and
he's like, I'll only do it if Alicia says it's okay.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. He told him. But they finally do it. He's being pissed, and Drake here is pissed too because they're getting away.
Well,
He does
what happens is they drive the shuttle in front of Arc 1.
Yeah, because they say they won't because Garnett says he's not going to shoot me. He needs me. He won't take that chance.
Yeah.
But he does shoot at them. But thankfully,
before she gets in front.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway. they think he flat out says, do we have any angles without hitting the shuttle? And they're like, yeah, from our aft cannon. And he's like, fire. And he shoots.
Yep. But
it turns out that Alicia has concocted some kind of shield in the meantime. And it works.
She said, I scienced it.
Yeah, basically. And she's very proud of that. So they're, and then they beam him up, or not beam him up, but they
climb up a ladder. They climb up a ladder to get up there.
No, I know. They don't literally beam up. They dock. They get it. They go onto the ship. They're busy making out. So they bring him on.
Can you go back to show me that picture? So I'm not interested in seeing these two actors play multiple clone roles a lot. They've already done it. It already happened. Like when, Reese Ritchie, is that our actor's name? He's played this is his third version, fourth version, many versions. It's cute. These two are kind of funny. I'm not super interested, but I do think it's interesting for them to come aboard Arc 1, and them being in love puts a little pressure on Garnet and Ian to examine their relationship, right?
Yeah.
But they're I have a limited tolerance for comic relief characters, right? So I'm looking forward to them being put off the ship somewhere.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was going to say, for the time being, I think it could be kind of fun with those two walking around the ship, and the other characters kind of being just looking at them funny or whatever.
What are we going to do?
It'll be funny for a minute, but I kind of hope that they get back to the planet and they just disappear into the background.
Yeah. Yes, Ian with the southern voice might be my favorite. His accent is funny. But
he's doing a lot with accents with all these clones over these last couple of seasons. And
Reese and Christy are acting the hell out of these first couple episodes.
Well, it's nice to see Christy have a chance, but I guess I'm just not generally
No, I don't need to.
As we've all said, we'd like to see this clone storyline maybe come to its conclusion at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like this clone storyline is going to be a through story of the show.
I know, and to me, clones are a whole other we've watched clone shows that we love. We're not against a clone storyline, but I feel like
this storyline needs to.
But what the show is about is not clones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need that. Sorry, I'm putting her in the kennel. I'm listening to you. I'm just over here.
I just feel like this is going to be a season. I don't want to call it a gimmick, but this is going to be a season-long situation we have to deal with.
So, previously, the clones were sort of a fact of the science. Science had evolved to this, and they existed, and it was it's becoming and we already had a clone storyline last season, and it was sort of resolved, right? And now we got a new clone storyline, and if I want to watch a clone show,
I will say this though. The fact that she knows she's a Gen 3 now, like you said, I think it's going to play heavily into her psyche, and I think that's what's going to make it interesting. Not the clones themselves, but what it's going to do to Garnet knowing this.
Garnet's self-confidence, thinking she could be losing her mind.
And Mr. Admiral there trying to slither in because of it.
Mr. Fake Admiral, yes. I mean, to me, the biggest, so we kind of skimmed over this, we've passed this point, but to me, a big red flag was when he gives some order. He says, jump to FTL. And Kimmy says, oh, if you're an admiral, you should know that it takes time to recharge the FTL. And then they jump, and Kimmy's like, "Oh, I guess they charge just in time." And I'm like,
"Yeah, that was a great scene."
In other words, she's like, "You were a jackass." Totally played him.
He really has he been in command of an FTL? He's an admiral. He doesn't understand how FTL ships work.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Did it need to charge? Didn't it need to charge? Did he know? Did he not know? Like he has a big gap in knowledge right there, which to me, I was like, oh, he's not an admiral.
Maybe. I don't know. I just took
like I think he was like an ensign or a lieutenant or somebody who was left on this planet. And when they rescued him, he's like, I'm an admiral, just to like, I don't know, but I think that was a huge red flag that he didn't like. She called him out for not understanding how FTL works and how much time they needed.
Maybe. I don't know. See, I just more took it as that she played him and it was a joke, and I really didn't think that much of it. But
yeah, but she played an admiral. She played an admiral.
Now that you said that, I see what you mean, but I didn't really think
I didn't really think about it that way either. But hearing you say it, Karen, that's an excellent point that I hadn't considered.
He should have known better. Okay, so then they bring in the ones from the explosion, and
I thought of Jamie in this scene.
Why?
Because they explain why Angus' clothes were taken.
Oh, yeah. This guy's wearing Angus clothes.
Oh, because last week you're like, why is he wearing different clothes? What's going on? Yeah. Why his clothes are not Kelly's clothes?
Yeah. So she lets her boyfriend work on Milan, and she takes the other guy. So yeah,
which was a smart move, because
it was. I kind of wonder though, like, do we think then this guy may not be human? I don't know why he was messing with their generators if he isn't one of their people. I'm assuming that he isn't one of their people.
I mean, if he
no.
I mean, not necessarily people. I assumed he was from that planet. Like one of the
fact that he has Angus's clothes tells us that he's part of the people that took them. Aside from that, we know nothing.
Right, now, but it's making it like it might not be people that took them. So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know.
It could be
he's a shapeshifter.
It could be any kind of shapeshifter or energy being or whatever that can be a human, or he could be a human collaborator with whoever's keeping them, right? There could be collaborators.
Could be that too.
Bess is very suspicious. Milan is very suspicious. They know a lot more about what's out there than they're letting on. And could they have like struck a deal? But I mean, for them to be sabotaged in this way is like, I have no idea where it's going.
I don't know.
I was kind of more interested in this idea about like Sanji being like, I always forget her boyfriend's name, but the other doctor is going to work on Milan.
Mason?
What's his name? Nate? No,
I said Mason.
Mason. Is that his name? Her boyfriend?
I don't know. Jamie?
Doctor Who? Anyway,
I don't know. Dr. Marsh.
Dr. Marsh.
We'll start with an M.
I was thinking, like, is Milan going to be like injured in a way that only Sanji can work on him? And
God, I hope not.
And he would have to be transferred to her. And would she save him? Would he live? Would he die? Whatever. But then it turns out that this fake Angus, he's not a fake Angus, but the guy in Angus's clothes, the wolf in sheep's clothing, is much more seriously injured. Even though in this picture, Milan looks so much worse injured, right? But it turns out Sanjay's patient is worse. Sanji, not Sanjay, Sanji.
Yeah. All right. And let's see, there's more after that. Okay, that's about the FTL. Right? Okay, so Sharon gets back, and when she talks to them, she says that Ben had, suggested that they should be court-martialed or that they could be, not that because I think actually she says he was going to drop the charges, but that they didn't listen to him.
Well, she says you can't bring charges because there's no GSA and they're not in the military.
Yeah, but she does say something like he was going to drop the charges anyway, doesn't she? I thought that's what she said.
Maybe.
No, she said she told him there can't be a court-martial.
Oh, okay.
So there's no charges to drop.
Okay, but anyway, she is, upset that they didn't listen, because she is like, I put him in charge. You were supposed to listen to him, and we said this before, by you, disregarding what he said, you did the same thing to me. But she's not mad at him. She's glad they saved her. She hugs him.
Then she said, "Thanks for coming back." And that's the thing too, because earlier in the episode, when Kimmy stops steps in between everybody and is like, "No, well, you know what? He's right. We need to regroup." She says, "What would Garnett do?" And that's kind of how she convinces Alicia. But Garnett would never leave anybody behind unless she thinks they've been eaten. They've been eaten by a crab-like creature. Then she leaves you behind because she thinks you're dead. Yeah. But anybody that's alive, she's not leaving them behind. So it's not what Garnett would have done. But to be fair, like you said earlier, they had nothing to go on to find them. You know,
Yeah, Katie had a good point there.
but so while it's like while she's mad at them for not listening to him, at the same time, had she been there, she would have been right with them, going, "Okay, we got to figure this out." So it's
Yeah.
All right. And then the kind of last scene here is with, or no, that's not the last scene, but that girl that had gone with Gabby had gone with Felix. Hey, she's still a red shirt, so I don't care. Gabby had gone with Felix to try to find Angus. I think at this point she says again, "Oh, I think Kelly did it," and he's like, "She didn't do it," and he kind of sticks up for her. But they're looking for evidence that they were taken, and she's like, "Oh, you mean like that?" So what is this porch mark?
What?
Something. So now at least they know, maybe like, I don't know, a new clue, I guess.
Well, it's the point of where they were taken from.
Yeah. And then we go back to the ship, and they want to know what these two know about, about. I was thinking it had why he was meeting. Was it why he was meeting Maddox? Is that what it was? I can't remember what it is they want to know from them, but something about they can get information from them.
They don't know anything about Maddox, but this is when we find out that Garnett is what they want to know what he wanted from Garnett.
Right. And they say, that he was looking for a Gen 3, that for a specific Gen 3. And that's what she is. And this is like a big revelation, because she's like,
"I'm not a good Gen 3." And she said, "Oh, yes, you are."
Yeah.
That's why he wants you.
Yeah. But I mean, Gen 3 clearly doesn't necessarily mean they go crazy, I guess, because these ones aren't crazy.
She's the only one that hasn't.
Oh, that's right. You said they're not you're right. They're not Gen 3. They're Gen 4.
Because she had, like, the idea was that they all go crazy pretty early, and she's way past that point, and he's like, no, actually some go late, right?
Yeah, but how do they know she's a Gen? How do they know she's a Gen 3 just because he wanted her?
Because
for
that's
that
what. Because yes,
all the rest of them are. Like, she thought it was just her and her sister, right?
Right, yeah. But his wife is a Gen 4, right?
Or Gen 2 or whatever. It doesn't matter what generation she is.
But
Garnett
she isn't. That's my point.
Yeah. Nobody else. The only ones that were Gen 3 were the ones locked up that he's already operated on, that weren't Gen 3. That weren't the ones he was looking for.
Right. So, but for all we know, we could find out that she's not Gen 3 later, or that who knows? Maybe she's the original.
That would make sense for the storyline. She's a Gen 3 that for some reason didn't go crazy, so they did something different with her. There's something about her that makes her, which is why he wants her blood or whatever, her bone marrow or her whatever the fuck, so that he can stop other Gen 3s from going cuckoo.
Yeah. All right. So now they got that to worry about. And then meanwhile, Drake here is pissed off, and he's like, "You got to find them." And he's like, "Oh, it'll take months." And he's like, "Do it anyway."
Yeah. Well, basically, he wants them to find the planet that they're on.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's right. He says about finding and he says that it's, I forget what they called the planet, but it meant that they had picked that name for their home base. And that guy's like,
home base 1.
Home base 1. I couldn't find a home base 1. And he's like, that's because they named it that, you dumbass. So he wants them to try to find the planet, which he probably will,
Yeah.
And it's the end of that. All righty.
All right.
On to lanterns.
Well, I was gonna say, you guys in Star Trek, why I get the rest of the images together, because you're not going to take that long, I don't think, to do it anyway.
I didn't watch Lanterns, but you guys can go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, well, if it's not going to be, I mean, I figured we were going to be a while with Lanterns, but it's fine.
Why would we be a while?
What?
I said, why would we be a while?
No. I mean, if we're not going to go real deep into Lanterns, I didn't get it. I was going to go get pictures. I was going to go do more, but if we're not going to take real long with it, we can do it, I guess, with what we have.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, I don't think we need that many pictures for it.
Okay, but you guys can do. You already got it up now. You might as well do Strange New Worlds.
All right, Strange New Worlds. This is season 4, episode 404. It's called A Case of Chiaroscuro. I don't really say this. It's I'm gonna
You know what's actually funny? I kept.
You know,
I
I
was
knew how
doing
to say it until you said that because I knew it from art class, and then you confused me. I'll be quiet.
I
No,
kept doing.
what? Go ahead.
I kept doing that at the beginning of the episode too. I kept repeating the title of the episode. I was like,
So
then I eventually forgot
you
about it.
studied art, chiaroscuro. It's a black and white technique about using shades of black and white and gray to make your image, right? It's an episode that's entirely in black and white.
And of course, it's film noir.
It's film noir. It's World War II noir. It's very Casablanca. It's a World War II-ish. I mean, it's not World War II. Obviously, it's set on a Klingon-occupied planet, but it has that like resistance against an occupying force kind of storyline, right? And they're wearing fedoras and trench coats. It's definitely, and it's black and white. It's noir. AJ, we talk a lot about how this show likes to embrace different like tropes and types and genres and things. How'd you like this?
I did not like it, but I'm kind of, I don't know. It's like on one hand, it's like they're trying to. I feel like they've been trying to embrace the original series, because the original series was a lot more Monster of the Week and stories like this and everything. But I don't know. I just feel like sometimes I don't know. This one kind of missed the mark for me. It didn't feel, maybe because it was telegraphed. I mean, it was all pretty obvious. I did like the Klingons being in it. I thought that was kind of we haven't seen Klingons in a while, so I thought the Klingons were kind of fun. I don't know. I just thought the story was very basic and very obvious.
So I didn't have time. I've been very busy. This is the only photo I set up for this.
That's okay.
We're gonna look at it, but I've always enjoyed the way they would take on genre on this show, but it used to be like 1 or 2 episodes per season, and now it became greater last season, and now we have 2. Do we have 2? Do we have 3 episodes in a row now?
The whole season so far. Every episode's been a genre.
Well, it's only episode 4, but yeah. Half the season almost. It's like
B was bored.
There's Planet of the Week, and then there's Genre of the Week, and now everything is a planet and a genre. Look, I like this better than last week. I felt the story was more cohesive and made a little more sense to me than like Planet last week, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this was a story about so these 3 are a away party. They go out in a shuttle chasing a probe into Klingon space, and they have to go hide on a planet because of reasons, right? And it ends up being a fully Klingon occupied planet, and it's and there's this other thing going on where actually I didn't mind this part where they're like, oh, there's a part of the radioactive thing going on in this atmosphere that interferes with the way our eyes see light.
I loved the explanation. I thought that was very clever.
Yeah, I did too. It really was a good way to explain why we have a totally black and white episode. I think it's pretty well filmed. Like, is it like the classic black and white movies that Orson Welles made? Or even like I Love Lucy, which was a show that was entirely like back in the days of black and white television, you had to shoot everything in gray. Like, like if you went to like a live audience for the I Love Lucy show, all the furniture was gray, the sets were gray, the outfits were gray, black, white, because they were like shooting black and white for black and white, and they were trying to like use depth of color and things like that, right? I'm not explaining well. Jamie probably could really understand that, having studied art, right? But you know what? You've heard about this, AJ, right? I'm sure other people have. Like Lucy really was wearing gray dresses that they then shot in black and white. I think the idea was that the cinematographer got a truer shot than like shooting color, right? Like they're in color. Nowadays, you have all this technology. Like, I don't know how they shot this. It would be great if we had an interview. But nowadays, it's way easier to do a black and white. I think it was kind of cool, like the way they shot it. One thing about this. All right, 2 things. AJ. I don't know how you liked there's the storyline and then there's the character aspects of each of these three characters that happen in this episode. Do you have thoughts on either? AJ's gone. We lost AJ. Am I gone? Jamie, can you hear me? Here he comes. AJ.
I'm here.
I was asking you about there's a part
It
of
wasn't my fault this time. The dog tripped over my power cord.
Poor doggy. I was asking AJ about there's a part of this, like, how'd you like the storyline and the mystery involved? And then also there are the character aspects with what each of these three characters are like kind of going through. And if you had any thoughts on either of those or both.
I felt it was just very straightforward. It was a very straightforward type of mystery, film noir type of mystery. I really didn't feel. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Joseph has become a one note. Oh, back when I was in the war, back when I was in the war, and when I was in the war, and when I was, I did like the scene where Uhura is being tortured and picked up on the Klingon, to tell them later. I thought that scene was pretty good. I thought she handled herself really well there.
I did like that also. And I liked it partly because I thought we saw a generally kind of fearful Uhura in this episode and not confident, which is kind of not who she has been all along, right? Like she's she's had her issues, but she was I guess she has no experience being undercover. Joseph actually has a ton of experience. He was like an agent during the war. And then there's the part where Una is like, I know what it's like to pretend. Remember in the whole of season 1, like she's pretending that she's not an enhanced person.
Yeah. I was just thinking about her. She's had more, been on more away missions since she's been on Strange New Worlds than she ever was on the original series.
She never leaves the ship on the original series. Right? She gets basically demoted and like has to sit up there and just listen to that thing and be like, Captain, they're hailing us for the rest of her career.
Pretty much.
So yeah, so I agree with you. I like that part where she was like being interrogated and she like held fast. How'd you like the part where we have a bunch of comments here actually can I go to some of the comments? Do you mind? B says, this is not my favorite trope. I was a bit bored, to be honest. That's fair. It was not like super exciting. It's a lot of talking, right? B thinks, I preferred last week. I was at least amused by Erica and Scotty and seeing Spock high. Yeah. And B says, I don't know about them filming in black and white. I would love to see that. Yeah, like if it was really filmed in black and white, or it was this color for black, right?
Yeah.
And B adds, sure, AJ, blame the dog.
Listen, when I do it myself, I admit to it.
I appreciate a little bit of a tribute to Casablanca, one of the greatest movies of all time that I've seen a lot. And to not just that, but many, many other films of that era that were about resistance movements. Mostly like, I immediately think of World War II, but, many films about that. I don't know. I guess there's not a ton of like character that's revealed. There's this whole other storyline happening on the ship where La'an is convinced that she's found something in the probe that's like there's some sabotage, and no one on the ship will believe her.
Except for the person that did it.
Except for the person who did it. Person who did it, right?
Yeah. I think the La'an, it's the La'an part I enjoyed a little more simply because the whole time it kind of was, is she having issues because of everything that she's experienced lately? Like, is she just grasping at straws, or is something really going on? I was leaning towards something really going on because La'an is usually pretty spot on with these things.
Yeah.
And then of course, at the end of the episode to find out that she was right and it was Christine of all people, who had a good reason though.
Yeah, I mean, it felt a little bit like, at the end of the episode, you get some exposition explaining everything, and it's wrapped up in a pretty bow. There were no clues ever left for us to ever leap. Nobody could have ever guessed it was Christine. There were zero clues. There was no, right.
Yeah, I think it was more. I think it was more about La'an and what she's been going through than the actual mystery itself.
And she was right, and I hope she'll trust herself. And I was kind of pissed when Spock was like, "No, you're wrong. There's no evidence. I don't agree with you." Right?
Well, I mean, that made sense to me.
Wait, I can't hear you, AJ. Microphone.
That made sense to me that Spock didn't believe her because Spock's all about logic, and with no proof to substantiate it, it's Spock.
I guess, but I felt like so much of Spock's journey is about his human side and learning to play a hunch and learning to trust instincts and things like that, right? Which I guess he's just not there yet. I mean, I feel like that's stuff we saw. I mean, we saw that a lot, I guess, on Discovery, which we haven't gotten to that part yet.
This is after Discovery.
Well, this is after Discovery, right? So he hasn't learned anything from his time on Discovery.
No, because it's Spock.
No, this is
Spock learns things and then kind of reverts all the time.
This is after Discovery?
Yeah.
All right. So he doesn't learn anything. So he was kind of a jerk to her. And I just want to make one comment you made me think of earlier. You said that you feel like Dr. Mbenga has become really one note about like my time in the war. And it's kind of telling that, we hear at the end of the episode that people are seeing Christine for counseling, right? Like, I get it that you go to but like people don't go to the doctor for medical or behavioral help. They always go to Christine.
Well, they don't have a Deanna Troi.
They don't. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, B thinks maybe I need to sit down and watch it again, give it another chance. I mean, you could. It's not like we're saying it's a fantastic episode, and
we're not saying it's a bad episode either.
No, I liked the guy who was the bartender, who was a member of the Resistance.
Yeah.
And in the end, he's going to become the leader. I don't know how I really feel about Una making this very non-Starfleet choice to aid the Resistance against the Klingons. I guess as a person, you would want to do that, right? Like any person would want to help a resistance against the Klingons, but she makes this very un-Starfleet. She's just been promoted to commander, and she immediately like violates Starfleet like every rule, right?
Yeah. Oh, and oh my God, I almost forgot. And we have Andy McQueen in the episode.
Andy McQueen.
Yeah, Andy McQueen. He was her partner. That turned out that he was one that killed.
Oh yeah, yeah. The guy that was her partner, and it turns out he kills her. Yeah.
We see him everywhere lately. First, and he was. Oh God, what was the supernatural show that starts with an R?
The comic book that I read. That why can't I think of it?
That.
Revival.
Revival. Thank you. Wow, we saw.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was kind of an okay character, right? And there's this interesting twist early where it turns out like is Navette, Una's doppelganger, like it was kind of obvious, but it was still kind of fun that like, is she a Klingon loyalist? Is she the head of the Resistance, right? You kind of knew it was coming, but it was still kind of fun the way they did it. So I liked it better than last week's episode, but I can see why B liked last week better. It depends what kind of tone you like. I would like to get a straight up on the ship, on a planet, normal Starfleet episode next week.
It's funny. It's actually funny because I was making comments about last week's episode, how I feel like they've kind of lost the seriousness of the show. Like, it doesn't have to be completely serious. Like, they can have fun. But it seems like it seems like a lot lately where it's just straight out hijinks, kind of. And then we get an episode that is a little more grounded. And I actually enjoyed last week's episode better.
Well, and you made a point last week, AJ, that Anson Mount is he like even in the show anymore? Like he has not been a center stage character. Go ahead, AJ.
No, I was just saying, that I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, like he is he in this episode at all? He's in the episode for like 1 minute at the end, right? And 1 minute at the beginning. He's not a major player. He's in this. Last week he was a comic relief character. Captain Pike has a very serious emotional journey coming that he's already on, right? And like shit needs to go down before this ends so we can get into the original series. And like I'm like, is Anson Mount making a movie on the side and he's not available? Like, what's going on? I'm not looking for an answer. Nobody knows that answer. I'm just saying. He's barely in the show lately, right?
I was wondering the same thing if he's like a side project he's doing. But same thing happened last season. Yeah, maybe they lost some of their budget and they can't afford them.
Maybe. I mean, he had a big arc with Marie. And granted, Marie, she probably sucked a lot of budget also, right? Sure. But he did have a big major arc with her. And ultimately, like, the love of his life kind of leaves him to go do this other thing. But yeah, I mean, Anson Mount is a thing that drew me to this show. I mean, Star Trek, yeah, but Anson Mount, yeah. We need some more Anson Mount. And I've loved him since he was on Hell on Wheels is really where I first became a fan of him. And I do love him. I want more of him, but I also want more of his gigantic hair. So, all right. Are we about wrap that up? Do we have any more comment? We have one more comment. B left a nice comment. We talked about Uhura never leaving the ship. And B's like, well, she was a woman. They couldn't let her leave the ship or do anything. It was big that they even let her be on the bridge. It was. And I love that she's a more empowered person now. And if you don't watch, no one's going to watch these shows in order of like time that actually happened. And so you wouldn't watch the show and then go watch the original and be like, oh, what happened to Uhura? Is she being punished? I get it that in the 60s, it was huge that a woman was on the bridge and that on this show that a black woman was on the bridge. We all get it, right? And B also agrees, like next week's episode, I agree. I would really like a Star Trek-y Star Trek. And not like, let's have what could we have next week? Let's have I feel like we've had a Western. I feel like, who I was looking forward to was seeing Carol Kane, another character who has she been on this season at all?
Yeah, because she made the TARDIS comment in the first episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know that she's a special guest star and she's not in every episode, but like it's episode 4. We need some more of Pellis. That's her name, right? We need more of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring on the big stars. So, all right, Jamie, are you out there?
Yes, I'm here. Did you say TARDIS? I swear I heard you say TARDIS.
Oh, yeah, the TARDIS. We've had multiple TARDIS mentions and appearances on this show.
And in the first episode of the season, they were talking about there was a phenomenon, and she's like, I think I've seen one of these before. Pretty sure I was in a police box when I saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
And there were also like 1 or 2 seasons ago, there was a big some kind of anomaly that was attracting a lot of like debris was whirling around, and when you zoomed in, there was a TARDIS zooming. There was a little TARDIS in there, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. There's been a couple of references. Apparently, Doctor Who exists in this universe.
That's cool.
Well, there was during the first season of Shooty's run, there was a Star Trek reference.
There was, yeah.
Sure.
A lot of respect between these two franchises.
For sure.
Yep.
So, all right, I didn't watch Lanterns. I'm going to watch it. So I'm gonna just sit quietly while you guys like talk about it. Okay.
Okay. So I don't know, AJ, what did you think?
It was okay.
It was okay. Whoops. As I was saying to you before we started, I don't know. It wasn't what I expected, but I'm not sure what I expected. It didn't really feel like a superhero show. It did more feel like you said, a murder cop drama or whatever, buddy cop.
It's a buddy cop murder. It's actually being described as what's that HBO series? True Detective meets the DC universe.
Oh, well, I've never watched True Detective either. But I mean, I've seen a trailer and it looked decent. I never really read anything about it, and I never really liked Green Lantern, so I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I never liked the movie or anything, but the preview looked good, so I figured might as well try it. Yeah, the movie was terrible, but I also am not generally a DC fan, but I decided I'd try it because the preview looked good. And see. I feel like I need another episode to know if I really cared to watch it again. I guess I liked it, but it wasn't like so great I have to see it again. You know, it was like, okay, it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on the fence about it since it was first first mentioned that they were doing this, and I saw the first trailer and I was just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it seemed like it was completely different, something completely different, which is why I thought
I got the vibe of it from the trailer personally. That's what kind of had me like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I watched the trailer. It made me want to watch it. I just, after watching it, I'm not sure how I feel.
That's interesting. You watched the trailer and it piqued your curiosity. I watched the trailer and I went, oof.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, yeah, it was okay. It was good. I just don't know if it is something I care enough to keep watching.
I have a question. AJ, you watched the trailer and you felt like, ugh. But how familiar are you with these comics, and how do you feel about?
I'm familiar enough that I'm not sure what the hell they're doing. From the minute I heard about it, it was like, oh, we're doing a Green Lantern show with all these lanterns, and then I saw the trailer and I was like, why are they on Earth? And why are they just walking around in like regular clothes and like walking, like literally walking and driving and then like apparently solving a murder mystery, and yeah.
I know nothing about Green Lantern other than, like I said, I saw the movie a long time ago. Really don't remember it other than it sucked. And that Nathan Fillion was in it. That's what I remember. Or that I read Nathan Fillion was
Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds. No, I was reading earlier that Nathan Fillion's going to be in this one. That's why I said Nathan Fillion. I meant Ryan Reynolds.
You could confuse those two, yeah.
No, I know. I meant Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, so I didn't really know much about it, and I just assumed I normally wouldn't like it, but it didn't seem superhero. And look, I used to not like Marvel, so I figured why not give it a shot. I like Kyle Chandler a lot. I always loved Early Edition. I never watched Friday Night Lights, but I liked Early Edition.
I liked that too.
And I like him in this. I don't know that I love, I'm looking at his name to see what his name was, Aaron Pierre. I feel like I haven't really seen enough of him. I didn't dislike him. I just don't know. I mean, he was okay. I don't know how I feel about it yet.
You didn't watch, that was just me and Karen that watched Rebel Ridge, because that's what he's from.
Okay. He looked familiar, but I couldn't figure out from which. Yeah, I mean, he seemed good, but I didn't, I feel like I said, I feel, and same thing, Neo. Like, I feel like, at least for me, like I need to see another episode to know if I'm going to keep watching.
Yeah, I mean, for one episode, it's hard to really say one way or the other after one episode. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much Karen's got, like, since Karen's actually listening to us talk, I don't know how much we want to talk about. Like, this isn't even the true mystery. The true mystery is what is set up at the end of the finale, the last few minutes of the episode.
That's kind of what I figured. And that was, although it was a different picture, so I'm a little confused by it. it was sort of spoiled for me. I told you I'd seen something on social media.
Yeah.
People put, but it actually was a different picture, so I don't know if they just a different one was going around or what. But yeah, we don't have to say that. But yeah, so the idea is that basically this guy is the Green Lantern, and see, that was part of the stuff that I didn't know because I don't know anything about the mythology, that he's already, I guess, protecting the world.
So how? Well, hold on a second, Jamie. Let's put it this way. It's this episode starts in 1982.
Oh, well, yeah, it does have that. You're right. That
83. Early to mid 80s is when it starts, and he's already established as the Green Lantern. They're talking about how he's the first superhero that is ever being interviewed. So he's already established.
First superhero period. It sounded like there aren't other superheroes, right?
No, they said the first superhero interviewed.
Okay, they said first.
And he's the protector of not just Earth, but this sector of the universe.
Yeah.
Wow, I never knew the Green Lantern was. I thought he was just like a normal caped crusader, normal human, like maybe not even with powers.
Yeah, well, his powers come from. He has a magic ring.
Oh, right, he has a magic ring. Yes,
that's where he gets his power from.
The thing that I didn't know about that I think is interesting, and I don't think is normally in the story, but maybe I'm wrong, is this idea that like somebody is his protege and going to replace him at some point. That was what I thought was a little strange and seemed to make the story unique. I don't remember, but again, I don't really remember the movie, so maybe it was about that. I don't know. But that this guy, I already forgot what his name was, this John Stewart, that he, even from when he was a kid, was already sort of training to, or at least wanted to be, I guess, his replacement. And he's like kind of training him on how to be a lantern, is it a lantern? Is that how they said? That's how you said it. To be one to protect people. And he's kind of like gonna, show him how to do it. And he's an ass. So I enjoyed their interactions. I thought that the two of them, I like that, like you said, kind of buddy cop.
They had good chemistry.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. But why he's already having somebody replace him and why he's been kind of training since he was a kid, that kind of thing, I didn't quite get why. They didn't explain that. I don't know if you need to know that or not, but yeah, I don't know. It felt like it started in the middle, kind of.
He hasn't been training since he was a kid. I mean,
well, he's been wanting to do it since he was a kid.
He's been wanting, yeah. He's admired Hal since he was a kid. As far as him being, it's weird with the way they're going with it. That he's free training him, because so the lore of and just Karen, so there's a Green Lantern Corps. There are thousands of Green Lanterns across the galaxy. They all protect a sector and everything. So there's alien races. There's different, like Neo says here in his comment. Yeah, there are Green Lanterns, different species for all the universe sectors. So there's a lot of Green Lanterns.
There's an army of Green Lanterns,
basically.
Okay.
And so what you'll learn when you watch the episode is the alien that crash landed on Earth that Hal came across gave him the ring, because when a lantern is dying, the ring chooses its next lantern. Kind of like how a dragon chooses its rider, the ring chooses its lantern.
And the ring came to him and brought him to this alien when he was dying.
Kind of like how the wand chooses the wizard.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's training John already is kind of weird. I'm not sure how they're playing this, where they're going with it.
It's an interesting superhero. I
forget my
sorry, I was just saying, I haven't seen that before, and I find it kind of interesting. I don't, like I said, I don't know that it's enough to bring me back. I got to see how it goes. I'm going to watch another episode. I did enjoy it, but I don't know, it very much did not seem like a superhero show. And not that it necessarily even needs to. I mean, that doesn't necessarily matter, but I definitely liked their chemistry. And like I said, Kyle Chandler's character is a dick to him through the whole thing, which is funny. A dick really to everybody. And yeah, so the idea is that I don't know if it was I guess it was kids. It was on a high school field, wasn't it? I'm clearly not remembering the details of who it was that was killed, but on a football field, there was a few people that were killed, and they think that it's alien related because his old self sent him a message from 10 years previous through the ring, but Jon Stewart got the message because he had given him the ring when he crashed the car to let him survive on his own, which was a whole nother issue. But he got sent himself a message because I guess he'd been watching this area because he knew the alien was coming. I didn't pay close enough attention, I think, to a lot of it, but he's investigating it and is going there because he's trying to protect the Earth from aliens. So therefore he thinks that this is his jurisdiction and he needs to take care of it. But there's a bunch with the sheriff, this woman, who does not like him because he gets in her way, Sheriff Carey. I also liked her. I enjoyed her in the two, Kyle Chandler's character. But he gets in her way, in the way of her investigation. So she gets upset at him a lot, but he's trying to tell her, hey, this guy's an alien. There's something else going on here. And he ends up causing a fight at a bar in order to get arrested because she won't let him talk to the suspect. And I did enjoy the part at the bar where he plays the I don't know what it's called, but the roller skate song, plays it again and again and again to get on this guy's nerves until they're going to have a fight. So that way he can beat this guy up. Or, well, they beat him up, but he ended up getting arrested. So, yeah, he's just following up on it. And it turns out, of course, that he's right. And there's also this part of, the sheriff's husband comes to be his lawyer when he is going to be arraigned for having the fight. They're going to use him as an example, and he comes to represent him, even though he didn't ask for him. And it ends up that it's that sheriff's husband who did it because her father-in-law, her husband's father, I don't know his name without looking. Billy Macon.
Played by Garrett Dillon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, his father was Garrett Dillon.
And okay, so I don't know if you recognize him, Karen, but that's Jason Ritter. What do you think of that mustache?
No way. Yeah. Now that you say it, I can kind of see that it's him, but yeah, no way. Wow.
Yeah.
I immediately knew. I was like, why does Jason Ritter have that silly mustache on?
Yeah, it does look silly. But anyway, the whole reason that his father sent him to be his lawyer and get bail for him, and he ends up setting I think the judge sets $200,000 bail or something, and his father pays the bail because he supposedly wants him to come to dinner with them. But it's really that this guy is kind of thinks that there's aliens coming and wants to get on his side and get his help. He's also a dick, but in a different way, because he's not funny. He's just a dick. But it turns out he has a right to not be so nice to Jon Stewart, because there's a scene which I skipped earlier where when they're at the bar, Jon Stewart meets, and I think I have a picture of her somewhere, this woman.
That's not Jon Stewart's fault, though.
No, it's not his fault. He didn't know. But he meets this woman and sleeps with her in the car, has sex with her in the car. And it turns out that it is Garrett Dillahunt's character's wife. So he makes a comment later. He's like, it's always great to eat off another man's grill, or something to that effect, that is very sarcastic. And then Hal is like, what was that about? He's like, I might have slept with his wife. He's like, you might have. No, I definitely did. So there's that. But yeah, he thinks that there are aliens coming, and he wants to kind of enlist Hal to be on his side, I guess, was sort of the way I took it. He seems like he's maybe sort of a prepper. I don't know. They didn't really go into it. And he's very, very rich, but yet I was kind of confused though at first, because I thought it was supposed to be him, but he works for somebody who, I don't know. I was a little confused about his boss, because it was this whole thing with the NDA. And as I said, I don't think I listened as closely to a lot of this as I probably should have, because it wasn't, it was good, but it wasn't so interesting that I paid enough attention. But there's some talk about his boss. But anyway, it ends up that guy is an alien that they think is. And he does, Hal gets him to confess by asking him all these things. First, he asks him about football, and he realizes that he's an alien, but like he's studied football because he's somebody who likes football. So like he studied
I did enjoy this part.
Yeah, but he doesn't know other normal trivia, and he's asking him stuff like about Nebraska he should know, and then he like randomly asks him, he's like, what school does Harry Potter go to? And that's how he decides he's an alien, because he doesn't know these kind of things. And he does get him to admit that he's an alien who wants war, because Hal's trying to keep peace, and he's like, if you don't let me leave, I'm going to blow up and explode and kill a bunch of people. But Hal lets him do it because he contains it in his, he uses his ring to make enough, like a power bubble to contain it, so he doesn't kill people when he explodes. So yeah, I like that scene. Yeah, it's, like I said, it was good. It wasn't fantastic. I kind of want to watch it again to see what happens. Obviously, there's a twist at the end, which if you're gonna watch it, I won't spoil. But yeah, it's got, I guess it's gonna have a mystery in it. But since this episode was more the setup, it's hard to tell. Look, a lot of shows, the first episode isn't as good because it is a lot of setup. We've talked about this a lot of times, how they need to use one for all the the explaining. And will it be good next week? I don't know. I'm going to give it a chance. I think it might be good. So, but I'm just kind of right now sort of, it was good. It wasn't fantastic is my outlook, I guess.
AJ, do you think it might be good?
I'll let you know next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to watch it, and then I will let you know what I think. So I kind of like, again, didn't watch it, don't know much about it, but one thing that intrigues me, guys talk about the Green Lantern is training his replacement, which is kind of cool because, like, for Batman and Robin, like, Robin only ever gets to be a sidekick. In the movies and shows we've seen, I can't say in the comic books, but Dick Grayson, aka Robin, is not in training to be Batman. He's always the sidekick, right?
Yeah.
And so, and most superheroes that we know in Marvel and DC don't have a protege. Okay, like Superman, he gets like Supergirl, who gets a terrible movie, a better TV show.
I like Supergirl.
You like that movie? I didn't see it. I only have seen reviews. So,
Oh, then you don't know it was terrible.
I only read that it was terrible. I do like Millie Alcock, and I feel bad. And the Supergirl show that ran on TV, I didn't watch it, but it was generally better reviewed, right? She's independent. She's not a replacement. But the idea of like superheroes who are maybe mortal or aging and preparing that somebody could come behind them is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, and that's where I think when I seen the preview, like it looked like something different, I guess. And I do really like the chemistry between the two main characters. But how that goes as the series goes on kind of remains to be seen. But yeah, I like Kyle Chandler a lot, and I think this the one who plays the lead, Jon Stewart. Like I said, I mean I like him. I just don't really know him from anything. But I like him and the one who plays the sheriff. So we'll see how it goes. But yes, you're right. It is kind of about that. Like he's an aging superhero. Like he uses his fame. Like he's going around and like taking photographs with everybody. Like he clearly likes that, being recognized and all that. But he also seems like he's kind of, he does his job, but he also seems like he's lazy and doesn't want to do his job. He's drunk a lot. Like it's interesting. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm curious where it goes. Will I continue watching it? We'll have to see. But judging by this, I'd say I think it's probably going to be good. but I probably should have paid more attention to the details. I watched it today, and I watched it, but I was doing other things and not.
Jamie, you will continue watching it because we got to talk about it next week.
What?
You'll continue watching it because you got to talk about it next Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll watch it again next Tuesday. We'll talk about it, and if you guys want to keep watching it, we'll keep watching it and keep talking about it. If not,
all right. And if the gang in the chat wants to watch it, then let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you like it. Add comments to the video later and let us know what you think. All righty. Well, yeah. Without, like I said, I don't want to spoil the ending, but you'll see the ending when you watch it. Yeah, I guess that's it. I really don't have a whole. It's not like a complicated show. There's not like a lot to really discuss. But
well, it's a superhero show. How complicated is it going to be?
Yeah. Well, we talked about Spider-Man for a long time, so
all right.
It depends.
That was a major movie event.
That's fair. That's fair. Neo said, see, I don't know anything about it. He said Jon Stewart was a popular lantern in the 90s, second most to Hal. See, I know nothing other than he has a lantern. Oh, it is funny. I didn't know that. Like, he can create things with his ring. Like, this is where I say, like, he's lazy. Like, he creates money with his ring, even to, like, put in the jukebox because he's too cheap to put money in it. That was funny. And, like, he makes a bottle opener for the sheriff to impress her. Like, it's things like that. He's just like, he's a dick, yeah. But I like Kyle Chandler a lot. I enjoyed that. So yeah, it's more the characters. It seemed like it's going to make it interesting, more so to me than the superhero story, I guess. Which is okay. I mean, you want to like the characters. All righty. Well, I guess that's it for tonight. But guys, make sure you join us tomorrow at 10:30 Eastern for our show for Librarians, the next chapter, where we'll be doing episode 5 and 6. Probably we'll have a watch party beforehand. We'll try to do that. So just stay tuned to Discord for the timing and everything. But yeah, I'll try to show both episodes as long as I can. I will. And yeah, I guess that's the last one of this week. We have 3 right in a row. But yeah, stay tuned and make sure you join our Discord. If you're not a member, you can get our schedule, play Jackbox games with us on the weekend, that kind of stuff. Fun stuff. All right. Great.
We'll be back here Monday for Silo.
Yeah, Monday for Silo.
Tomorrow for Librarians.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. I still got to watch the most recent one. I watched the first one. I haven't watched the second Librarian, so
I haven't watched either yet.
I'll
watch them both. I'm off for work tomorrow, so I watch them both tomorrow.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll have time. I spent yesterday watching Dead City, so I just haven't had a chance. Oh, and like I said before, there will be interviews coming. So make sure you guys check them out when they come out as well. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, and
That's a wrap. Stick a fork in this.
Yeah. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.